Chapter 1741. After Man Yin left, Mo Qingyun didn't think too much about it and immediately returned to his room to cultivate. This time, Mo Qingyun didn't enter the Fortune mainland. Instead, he stayed in his room to cultivate. He had just arrived at the Heavenly Soul Devil Clan's headquarters, and there were many things he needed to deal with. It wasn't suitable for him to enter seclusion for a long time. Due to the limited time, Mo Qingyun didn't make a breakthrough in his cultivation. Instead, he was comprehending the twin dragon shattering wings. As Mo Qingyun cultivated, time slowly passed. In the next few days, everything was very peaceful. No one came to disturb him. Mo Qingyun was happy to see such a situation. This way, he could cultivate in peace. At this time, in a large hall in the valley, the Burning Sword Divine Blacksmith and the others were gathered. Man Yin, has Qingyun gone out recently? The Burning Sword Divine Blacksmith sat at the top of the hall and asked about Mo Qingyun's situation. It was obvious that he was very concerned about Mo Qingyun. Under the Burning Sword Divine Blacksmith's questions, Man Yin walked to the center of the hall and bowed to the Burning Sword Divine Blacksmith, replying to Master, since Junior Brother came to the valley, he has been cultivating in seclusion. He has never left his room. Not bad, not bad. Hearing Man Yin's report, the Burning Sword Divine Blacksmith nodded with satisfaction. A look of praise appeared on his face as he said, "This kid is quite low-key. His temperament is also relatively calm. He is a good material for refining." Man Yin, go and call Qingyun over. The Burning Sword Divine Blacksmith praised Mo Qingyun in his heart. He waved his hand at Man Yin and asked her to call Mo Qingyun over. When Man Yin received the order, she immediately left the main hall and went to call Mo Qingyun over. Soon, Man Yin arrived at Mo Qingyun's courtyard. She shouted towards Mo Qingyun's room, "Junior Brother, Master is summoning you. Follow me to the hall." "Master is summoning me?" Mo Qingyun opened his eyes and exited from his cultivation. Withdrawing from his cultivation, Mo Qingyun did not waste any more time. He immediately opened the door and walked out. Seeing Mo Qingyun coming over, Man Yin immediately pulled his hand and brought him to see the Burning Sword Divine Craftsman. Following behind Man Yin, Mo Qingyun smelled a faint fragrance that was as sweet as Man Yin's personality. Immediately after, Mo Qingyun took a few more glances at Man Yin as a strong sense of puzzlement arose in his heart. Why would a lively and quick-witted girl like Man Yin come here to learn how to refine artifacts? This was simply too out of place. From Mo Qingyun's point of view, those who learn to refine artifacts should be men with strong bodies. In next to no time, Mo Qingyun arrived at the hall under Man Yin's lead. "Master, little Junior Brother is here." Man Yin let go of Mo Qingyun's hand, walked to the front of the hall, and bowed to the Burning Sword Divine Craftsman. "Greetings, Master, Senior Brothers, and Senior Sisters." Mo Qingyun stood in the center of the hall and bowed to everyone in the hall with a neither servile nor overbearing attitude. In response to Mo Qingyun's bow, everyone in the hall nodded in response. Seeing Mo Qingyun's arrival, the Burning Sword Divine Craftsman nodded with a smile and pointed to a seat at the side. "No need for formalities, sit down first." "Yes." Mo Qingyun nodded and walked to the side to sit down, waiting for the Burning Sword Divine Craftsman's instructions. Seeing that everyone was present, the Burning Sword Divine Craftsman did not waste any time. He coughed lightly and said, "Today, as usual, I will first explain some new refining techniques to you." Hearing the Burning Sword Divine Craftsman's words, everyone immediately tensed up and listened attentively. The Burning Sword Divine Craftsman was very satisfied with everyone's performance and began to share his refining insights. Hearing the Burning Sword Divine Craftsman's words, Mo Qingyun also listened attentively to the Burning Sword Divine Craftsman's words. Following that, time passed bit by bit as the Burning Sword Divine Craftsman spoke. After about a few hours, the Burning Sword Divine Craftsman stopped his lecture and answered everyone's questions. After answering everyone's questions, the Burning Sword Divine Craftsman looked at Mo Qingyun and said, Qingyun, this is your first time coming into contact with refining. Next, I will explain to you the main points. Come with me. After the burning sword divine craftsman finished speaking, he walked out of the hall, intending to find another place to explain. Seeing the burning sword divine craftsman's actions, Qingyun was still puzzled, but he immediately followed. Little junior brother, looks like Master thinks highly of you. He actually personally gave you pointers. When Qingyun passed by Man Yan smiled mischievously and whispered in Qingyun's ear. Hearing Man Yan's words, Qingyun was puzzled and asked, Senior sister, what do you mean? Under Qingyun's gaze, Man Yan pointed to a square-faced, middle-aged man and said, Under normal circumstances, Master's new disciples will be given initial pointers by first senior brother. This time, Master personally gave you pointers. It shows that he thinks highly of you. I see. Qingyun's face lit up, and he was touched. Now it seemed that his choice to follow the burning sword divine craftsman was a very wise one. Man Yan chatted with Qingyun for a while, and when they reached her courtyard, she separated from Qingyun. After separating from Man Yan, Qingyun continued to follow the burning sword divine craftsman to Incineration Weapon Mountain. Arriving at Incineration Weapon Mountain, the burning sword divine craftsman stopped and turned to Qingyun and asked, Qingyun, the most important thing in refining is the control and understanding of fire. Tell me about your comprehension of the great Tao of fire. Yes. Hearing the burning sword divine craftsman's question, Qingyun explained his comprehension of the great Tao of fire without holding anything back. Hearing Qingyun's explanation, the burning sword divine craftsman's eyes lit up, and he nodded with admiration. Then, he looked at Qingyun with more and more satisfaction. He did not expect Qingyun, who was only in the Golden Immortal Realm, to have such a deep understanding of the great Tao of fire. After a while, when Qingyun finished speaking, the burning sword divine craftsman said with an expectant look, Now, release the power of the great Tao of fire that you control without holding anything back. Hearing the burning sword divine craftsman's request, Qingyun did not hesitate and released the power of the great Tao of fire that he controlled. Immediately, a violent power of fire burst out of Qingyun's body. The burning sword divine craftsman was startled when he sensed the fiery energy. He was even more surprised and said, Good, good. It seems like you're even more talented than me in artifact forging. Seeing Qingyun's talent, the burning sword divine craftsman's expression became more serious, and he said, Qingyun, you are very talented in refining. I hope you can follow me and stay here to study refining. Don't be some guardian. Disciple will follow master's arrangements. Hearing the sincere suggestion of the burning sword divine craftsman, Qingyun immediately nodded and agreed to stay and learn refining. Unless Qingyun was a fool, how could he not see that refining was more promising than being a guardian? Chapter 1742. In 3 days, the clan will hold a test. The top 10 will have the right to undergo bloodline atavism. After explaining the knowledge of forging to Qingyun, the burning sword divine craftsman changed the topic and began to talk about bloodline atavism. Your bloodline talent is not bad. If you can reach 7 stars during bloodline atavism, your cultivation will be much smoother in the future. Thank you, Master. I understand. Qingyun's face lit up with gratitude when he heard divine craftsman burning sword's reminder. Although the burning sword divine craftsman looked cold on the outside, he was very passionate on the inside. He cared about Jian Wushuang very much. Hearing Qingyun's response, the burning sword divine craftsman pondered for a moment before saying, I've already arranged for you to participate in the test. You can come with me when the time comes. Hearing this, Qingyun once again showed a look of gratitude, and he was somewhat moved. He had only become the burning sword divine craftsman's disciple for a few days, yet the burning sword divine craftsman was so considerate of him. I have some grudges with the Tongue lineage in the past. You have to be careful of them in the future. Thinking of some of his grudges, Divine Craftsman Burning Sword solemnly reminded Mo Qingyun. Hearing this, Mo Qingyun smiled meaningfully and immediately nodded in response. In Mo Qingyun's opinion, even if the Burning Sword Divine Craftsman didn't say that, he would still be wary of the Tang lineage. Of course, Mo Qingyun wouldn't tell the Burning Sword Divine Craftsman about the grudge between him and Tang Xiao. At least, Mo Qingyun wouldn't say it at this stage. After that, Mo Qingyun and the Burning Sword Divine Craftsman chatted for a while, and their relationship became much closer. After chatting with the Burning Sword Divine Craftsman, Mo Qingyun returned to his residence and continued to cultivate. Time passed extremely quickly during cultivation. In the blink of an eye, 3 days had passed. It was the day of the bloodline atavism test. Just as Mo Qingyun walked out of the courtyard, he saw Man Yin and the others waiting for him outside the courtyard. Greetings, Master, Senior Brothers, and Senior Sisters. Mo Qingyun walked up to Divine Craftsman, Burning Sword, and the others with a humble expression and bowed to them. Let's go. Seeing Mo Qingyun's arrival, the Burning Sword Divine Craftsman nodded and walked forward. Mo Qingyun and the others didn't hesitate to follow the Divine Craftsman's orders after hearing his orders. Little junior brother, you're not bad. You actually didn't undergo bloodline awakening. On the way to the bloodline atavism assessment, Man Yin praised Mo Qingyun and sized up Mo Qingyun curiously. In her opinion, this junior brother in front of her was becoming more and more interesting. Hearing Man Yan's words, Mo Qingyun was puzzled and asked, Senior Sister, this is my first time in the main family. Isn't it normal that I didn't undergo bloodline awakening? Junior brother, you actually don't know that the branch family can also undergo bloodline awakening? Man Yan's beautiful eyes widened as she looked at Mo Qingyun in shock. She found it hard to believe. In her opinion, the branch family could undergo bloodline awakening. This was something that everyone knew. Mo Qingyun actually didn't know about this. This was really unbelievable. I don't know. Mo Qingyun shook his head. He went to the still water branch because of Zhang Shifa and the others, so he didn't have the chance to know about this. Seeing Mo Qingyun's serious face, Man Yin knew that he wasn't lying. It seemed like he really didn't know. Man Yin discovered this point. Her gaze when looking at Mo Qingyun immediately became a little more curious and said, although the branch family can undergo bloodline awakening, the effect of the branch family's bloodline awakening is much worse than the main family's. Therefore, many of the branch family's geniuses are waiting to come to the main family to undergo bloodline awakening. So that's how it is. After hearing Man Yan's explanation, Mo Qingyun revealed a look of understanding. If nothing went wrong, when Man Yin saw that he did not undergo bloodline awakening, she should think that he wanted to complete bloodline awakening in the main family. Seeing Mo Qingyun's appearance, Man Yin immediately gave him a reproachful look and said, You guy, you actually don't even know this. I really don't know what you usually do. Being asked by Man Yin like this, Mo Qingyun was immediately at a loss for words, not knowing how to answer. He could not very well tell Man Yin that he coincidentally obtained the heavenly soul fiend race bloodline and had just returned to the heavenly soul fiend race, right? Hee. Seeing Mo Qingyun's awkward expression, Man Yin smiled alluringly and continued to chat with Mo Qingyun. Before long, under Mo Qingyun two people's conversation, they arrived at an enormous ancestral hall. At present, there were already many people gathered inside this ancestral hall, currently waiting for the test to begin. After Mo Qingyun and the rest arrived, under the lead of the Burning Sword Divine Craftsman, they walked to a spacious place. Arriving at this spacious place, Mo Qingyun and the rest found a place to sit down, waiting for the test to begin. Following that, people continuously came to the ancestral hall and found empty seats to sit down. Roughly an hour passed. No more people continued to come. Seeing that no one else was coming, a short old man went to the center of the hall and said, There are a total of 1,426 people taking part in the ancestral awakening ceremony. Among them, 92 juniors from the main tribe are qualified to undergo the ancestral awakening ceremony. Since that's the case, the remaining 1,334 juniors of the branch families will compete for the remaining 8 spots. As soon as the old man finished speaking, an uproar immediately broke out in the ancestral hall. There are only 8 spots this time. The competition is more intense than before. The juniors of the main family are so cool. They can undergo bloodline awakening without competing. Can't help it, although they have a good background, this kind of thing can't be envied. This is my 3rd time competing for bloodline awakening. If I fail again this time, I will return to the branch family to undergo bloodline awakening. Hearing the skinny old man's words, those participating in bloodline awakening voiced their thoughts one by one. Silence. Seeing the noisy crowd in front of him, the skinny old man shouted in a low voice and raised his hand to point at a high platform. Branch family juniors participating in bloodline awakening gather at this platform immediately. Hearing this, the branch family juniors participating in the bloodline awakening examination immediately flew toward the high platform. Go! The burning sword divine craftsman nodded at Mo Qingyun, indicating that Mo Qingyun should go to the gathering place. Seeing the burning sword divine craftsman's action, Man Yin revealed a surprised expression and asked puzzledly, "Master, junior brother is also going over? Didn't he get a spot directly?" Man Yin remembered that they didn't compete when their bloodline awakening was taking place. Hearing this, the burning sword divine craftsman's face darkened and said, "Qing Yun rejected Tung Dan back then, so that guy held a grudge and caused trouble, causing Qing Yun to be unable to get a spot directly. It's the Tung family again." Hearing the burning sword divine craftsman's words, Man Yin and the others were instantly enraged, and a strong feeling of displeasure arose in their hearts. Seeing the reaction of Man Yin and the others, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and said, "Master, senior sister, senior brother, don't worry, I will definitely get a spot." Chapter 1743. Little junior brother, be careful. Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, Man Yin looked nervous and was about to warn Mo Qingyun. However, before she could say anything, Mo Qingyun had already reached the high platform. His speed was extremely fast. What a fast speed! Little junior brother's speed is even faster than an ordinary Daluo Golden Immortal. Seeing Mo Qingyun's speed, Man Yan's eyes lit up. She immediately looked at Mo Qingyun in a new light. "Master, I can't guarantee that little junior brother will get a spot with such speed, but he will definitely be able to protect himself. No wonder he's so confident." At this moment, Man Yin seemed to understand the reason behind Mo Qingyun's confidence. "Haha, not bad, not bad." Looking at Mo Qingyun on the high platform, the burning sword divine craftsman smiled faintly with a look of admiration. With his experience, he could naturally see how amazing Mo Qingyun's speed was. Not to mention a Daluo Golden Immortal. Even an ordinary Tai Xian Immortal expert would not be able to match Mo Qingyun's speed. If the burning sword divine craftsman and the others knew that Mo Qingyun's speed was not his true speed, they would be shocked. Most likely, they would be even more astonished. Under the gaze of the burning sword divine craftsman and the others, Mo Qingyun stood on the high platform and looked around at the crowd. There are more than 1,000 competitors. It's too much of a waste of time to compete one round at a time. In Mo Qingyun's opinion, there was no point in competing with these golden immortals. In other words, if he were to compete with this newcomer, he would be bullying them. "Kid, you seem to be very arrogant." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, a man with a golden sword beside him glanced at Mo Qingyun in disdain and said, "From your tone, it seems like you're determined to get the 8 spots for bloodline atavism." As soon as this man spoke, he immediately attracted the attention of others, attracting everyone's attention. That's Fong Buochuan of the Golden Demon Clan. He was ranked 11th in the Bloodline Awakening examination. He was only 1 place away from being qualified. Fong Buochuan's cultivation could have broken through to the Zenith Heaven Golden Immortal realm a long time ago. The reason why he hasn't broken through is because of this ancestral awakening. That kid offended Fong Buochuan. He's done for this time. He's most likely going to be eliminated. Seeing the man with the golden sword, the surrounding people showed fear and sympathy for Mo Qingyun. The assessment hadn't even started yet, and Mo Qingyun had already offended such an opponent. His luck was really bad. Fong Buochuan. His bloodline talent seems to be 6.5 stars. He is one of the most talented people in this assessment. When Man Yin saw Fong Buochuan on the high platform, she immediately recognized his identity. She couldn't help but worry for Mo Qingyun. Junior brother, how did you offend him? This is really troublesome. Junior sister, don't worry. Little junior brother's movement technique is outstanding. Even if he can't win, he can still protect himself. That's right. Maybe little junior brother has some trump card that can deal with Fong Buochuan. We can't interfere in this kind of competition. Let's just watch silently. Moreover, Master is here. He won't watch little junior brother get bullied. The few people at the side were talking at once, constantly comforting Man Yin. Hearing the few people comforting her, Man Yin's expression turned better. She said, if Fong Buochuan dares to hurt little junior brother, see how I'll deal with him in the future. The few disciples of the Burning Sword Divine Craftsman were all depressed and looked at Mo Qingyun with envy. They were all fellow disciples. Why was the difference so big? Why was Man Yin so good to Mo Qingyun? Just as everyone was feeling depressed, Man Yin's pretty face became angry and said, "It wasn't easy for me to have a junior brother. Even if he is bullied, he can only be bullied by me." Everyone was depressed. The gaze they looked at Mo Qingyun with turned from envy to sympathy. They didn't know if Mo Qingyun was lucky or unlucky to have such a senior sister. The Burning Sword Divine Craftsman didn't say anything about the reaction of Man Yin and the others. He just looked at Mo Qingyun calmly. Under everyone's gazes, Mo Qingyun had an indifferent expression on his face. He swept his gaze over the people in the surroundings and said, "You're right. I'm determined to obtain those 8 spots. If the conditions permit, I can directly challenge all of you to save myself the trouble of having to compete repeatedly." Challenge everyone directly? Everyone was stunned. They thought they had heard wrong and looked at Mo Qingyun as if they were looking at a lunatic. This guy was too arrogant. Who did he think he was? Even an ordinary Daluo Golden Immortal expert wouldn't dare to speak so arrogantly. Who does this guy think he is? How dare he be so arrogant? When I meet him later, I'll teach him a lesson. He's even more arrogant than Fong Buochuan. This is the first time I've seen him. Everyone was unhappy and looked at Mo Qingyun with hostility. Master, this Man Yin, who was worried about Mo Qingyun, immediately looked at the Burning Sword Divine Craftsman in shock when she saw Mo Qingyun's action. In her opinion, Mo Qingyun's behavior was too arrogant. He really should be taught a lesson. Continue watching. The Burning Sword Divine Craftsman said to Man Yin and the others. He didn't change his expression. Hearing that, Man Yin and the others didn't say anything else and silently looked at Mo Qingyun. Silence. At this moment, when everyone looked at Mo Qingyun in shock, the short old man said coldly, "Since everyone is here, let's start the first round." As soon as the old man finished speaking, Fong Buochuan said with a sinister smile, "Senior, this kid wants to challenge everyone. Please accept his request." Nonsense. How can the rules of the Bloodline Awakening competition be changed so easily? The short old man was unhappy when he heard Fong Buochuan's words. He scolded him and said, "I know that you are the talented juniors of the various branches and are used to doing whatever you want in the branches. However, this is the main branch, not your branch. It's impossible for you to do whatever you want." Fong Buochuan's expression changed when he heard the short old man's words. He was a little displeased. Mo Qingyun was the one who started the trouble, but he was the one being scolded. This was too unfair. Elder Xieguang, since that kid is so confident, why don't we fulfill his wish? Tung Dan, who was sitting in a seat around the ancestral hall, suggested to the short old man with a cold smile. The short old man was startled when he heard Tung Dan's words. He couldn't help but hesitate. Tung Dan was from the Tung branch. The Tung branch was powerful, and he couldn't offend them easily. Chapter 1744. Tung Dan, this old bastard. He wants to kill little junior brother. Seeing Tung Dan's action, Man Yan's face revealed anger, her pretty face covered with frost. In her view, Mo Qingyun's words earlier were nothing more than talking big. This kind of thing, as long as it was a discerning person, they should be able to see it. Tung Dan actually made use of this kind of thing, preparing to borrow the hands of other participants to kill Mo Qingyun with a borrowed knife. His action was seriously too despicable and shameless. Master, quickly think of a way. Man Yin was burning with anxiety, urging Divine Craftsman Fin Sword. Seeing the situation before his eyes, Divine Craftsman Fin Sword also frowned deeply, looking at Mo Qingyun. Discovering that Divine Craftsman Fin Sword looked at him, Mo Qingyun nodded at him with a smile, giving him a comforting smile. Seeing Mo Qingyun's action, Divine Craftsman Fin Sword's brows immediately smoothed out, and a brilliant smile surfaced on his face. From Mo Qingyun's hint, he could tell that Mo Qingyun's action was not impulsive. It looked like he should have a well-thought-out plan and had the confidence to fight everyone alone. Don't worry, since Qingyun dares to do this, he must have full confidence. Understanding Mo Qingyun's thoughts, Divine Craftsman Fin Sword comforted everyone and said again, since that's the case, let's relax and wait and see. Hearing Divine Craftsman Fin Sword's words, Man Yin and the rest did not say any more, looking at the high platform nervously. Under everyone's gaze, Mo Qingyun revealed a faint smile at the corners of his mouth, turning his head to look at Tung Dan, and said, Many thanks, Elder. I will definitely live up to your expectations and blast everyone off the high platform. Kid, you're too cocky. I'll definitely teach you a lesson. Who do you think you are? What do you mean by blasting all of us off? I can't take it anymore. I'm going to make a move on this kid now. Mo Qingyun's words immediately enraged the crowd. Seeing the angry faces of the crowd, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and hurriedly said, Everyone, don't be in a hurry to make a move. Otherwise, if you're seriously injured, you won't be able to find someone to heal you. Mo Qingyun comforted the crowd and then ignored them. He turned to Tung Dan and said, Elder, I'm afraid I won't be able to control the strength of my attacks. If they're seriously injured, you'll have to treat their injuries. Brat, if you don't dare, just say it. Don't talk nonsense here. Upon seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, a young man beside Tung Dan shouted angrily at Mo Qingyun. Tung Xiang, don't be rude. Tung Dan waved his hand and interrupted the young man beside him. He stared coldly at Mo Qingyun and said, I can guarantee that I will treat their injuries, but if you are injured, I won't. As soon as Tung Dan said this, the atmosphere immediately became oppressive. Everyone knew that Elder Tung Dan's words were a hint for the younger generation to cripple Mo Qingyun later. That's not a problem. If I had been killed back then, I would have reaped what I had sown. Mo Qingyun knew very well what Tung Dan was thinking. He smiled faintly in response and said, Elder Tung Dan, as the saying goes, words have no proof. Let's make a written agreement to prevent anyone from going back on their word. You, who do you think you are? How dare you doubt Elder Tung Dan? As soon as Mo Qingyun's words left his mouth, he immediately infuriated the crowd. The people from the Tung family rebuked him furiously. At this moment, not only were the people from the Tung family furious, but even Tung Dan's face darkened. A bone-chilling aura radiated from his body. In his opinion, Mo Qingyun was clearly forcing him to make an excuse to avoid the battle. He would not let Mo Qingyun have his way. Thinking that he would soon be able to kill Mo Qingyun, Tung Dan's complexion improved slightly as he coldly said, Good, this old master will sign a written contract with you, lest someone comes to settle accounts later and accuse this old master of killing his disciple. When Tung Dan said this, he looked at the burning sword Divine Craftsman. His meaning was obvious. It seemed that Tung Dan had agreed to Mo Qingyun's request because he wanted to compete with the burning sword Divine Craftsman. He believed that the reason Mo Qingyun dared to act so unscrupulously was most likely because of the burning sword Divine Craftsman's instructions. With a wave of his hand, Elder Tung Dan took out an ancient scroll and quickly wrote some words on it. Then, Elder Tung Dan forced out a drop of blood and left a blood imprint on the scroll. That is the Blood Drinker contract. Looks like Elder Tung Dan is really angry. The Blood Drinker contract is a very domineering oath. Once it is made, it cannot be changed. Not only that, but if it is not honored, one will suffer the backlash of having their blood drained. Seeing Elder Tung Dan's actions, the others were shocked. They did not expect Elder Tung Dan to be so ruthless. While everyone was shocked, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly. He was very satisfied with the situation. Then, Mo Qingyun did not waste any time and left a blood imprint on the scroll. Seeing that everything was ready, Mo Qingyun no longer thought about it. He turned his head to look at Fong Buochuan and the others and said, "Everyone, don't worry. I have already taken care of your funeral arrangements. You can act without worry." This kid, hearing Mo Qingyun's words, even the Burning Sword Divine Craftsman could not help but shake his head with a wry smile. He could not figure out Mo Qingyun's actions at all. As for Man Yin and the others, they were all dumbfounded. They felt like their brains were not enough. What was Mo Qingyun up to again? "Kid, you're courting death." Seeing Mo Qingyun's arrogant actions, Fong Buochuan and the others were immediately enraged. They all attacked Mo Qingyun. Suddenly, saber radiance, sword shadows, staff shadows, all flew toward Mo Qingyun at the same time. The aura was earth-shattering. Even the color of the sky changed. In the face of such a terrifying attack, even a person in the robust soul stage would be severely injured. Too weak. Mo Qingyun had a disappointed expression on his face as he faced the attacks of the crowd. He shook his head and sighed. When Mo Qingyun spoke, a terrifying wave of spiritual energy burst out from his body. When this wave of energy burst out, it was like an avalanche, sending Fong Buochuan and the others flying. This was a completely one-sided situation. Not only that, when Fong Buochuan and the others were sent flying, they were also hit by a wave of spiritual energy. Under the impact of the two powerful forces, Fong Buochuan and the others were sent flying. One by one, they were blasted off the high platform and fell to the ground, unconscious. Seeing this scene, everyone was stunned. They could not believe that this was real. Mo Qingyun was only in the immortal golden body stage. It was unbelievable that he had such terrifying strength. Ignoring everyone's shock, Mo Qingyun smiled playfully. He turned to Tung Dan and said with a smile, "Elder Tung Dan, I am sorry. There were too many opponents, and they were too strong. I did not control my strength well and attacked a little too hard. I will have to trouble you to heal them." Chapter 1745. Mo Qingyun's attack had severely injured more than 1,000 people, and each of them was severely injured. There is no need to examine them to see that their meridians and bodies have been destroyed. To heal their injuries, each of them would have to spend 10 million upper-grade celestial stones, and that was the minimum price. 10 million upper-grade celestial stones for each person meant 10 billion upper-grade celestial stones. When Elder Tung Dan thought of this, his face couldn't help but twitch, and his body began to tremble. He had accumulated tens of billions of upper-grade celestial stones for more than 100,000 years. This was a huge loss. More importantly, he had signed a Blood Drinker contract, so he couldn't deny it. Otherwise, he would suffer the backlash of the Blood Drinker contract, and his bloodline would be completely devoured. Boy, Tung Dan gnashed his teeth in anger when he thought of losing half of his wealth because of the bet with Mo Qingyun. At this moment, he finally understood that Mo Qingyun's previous actions were to set him up. He had to admit that Mo Qingyun's move was too ruthless. He had lost everything. "Thank you for your concern, Elder Tung Dan. Although I'm slightly injured, it's not a big deal." Mo Qingyun smiled faintly in response to the ferocious Tung Dan. He pointed at Fong Buochuan and the others and said, "However, their injuries are more serious, so I'll have to trouble you, Elder Tung Dan." When he heard Mo Qingyun's words, Tung Dan trembled in anger and almost vomited blood. Mo Qingyun was clearly touching a sore spot. Although he was furious, Tung Dan didn't dare to hesitate and immediately went to deal with Fong Buochuan and the others. It wasn't because he was honest, but because he was afraid that Fong Buochuan and the others would suffer the backlash of the Blood Drinker contract. To him, although wealth was important, his life was more important. However, when Tung Dan checked the injuries of Fong Buochuan and the others, his expression turned even uglier. Fong Buochuan and the others' injuries were not only physical, but also soul injuries. In other words, in addition to healing Fong Buochuan's physical injuries, Tung Dan also had to heal their soul injuries. In this way, he would have to pay another terrifying sum of money. This was forcing him to return to his previous state. When Tung Dan thought of this, he immediately rolled his eyes and almost died from anger. Mo Qingyun smiled faintly when he saw Tung Dan's actions. He said, "Elder Tung Dan, you can't play dead. There are so many people waiting for you to save them. Brat, this old man will remember this debt. In the future, I will definitely pay you back tenfold." Hearing Mo Qingyun's mocking words, Tung Dan's expression turned ferocious as he gnashed his teeth and shouted angrily. Mo Qingyun chose to ignore Tung Dan's angry actions and flew toward Divine Blacksmith Burning Sword. Mo Qingyun smiled and said, "Master, I hope you like my gift. I like this gift very much." Looking at Mo Qingyun beside him, Divine Blacksmith Burning Sword smiled faintly and couldn't help but exclaim, "I didn't expect Tung Dan to fall at your hands after fighting with me for tens of thousands of years. Master, Junior brother has avenged you as soon as he arrived. You didn't take him in for nothing." Following Divine Blacksmith Burning Sword's words, Mannion also smiled and praised Mo Qingyun. "Ha!" Divine Blacksmith Burning Sword laughed heartily when he heard Mannion's words. He said with concern, "Qingyun, you helped me teach Tung Dan a lesson and helped me vent my anger. I'm very grateful to you, but you've offended Tung Dan too much this time. You must be careful of his revenge in the future." "Thank you for your reminder, Master. I'll be careful." Mo Qingyun quickly nodded in response to Divine Blacksmith Burning Sword's concern. He said, "Master, don't worry. With the conflict between you and Tung Dan, even if I didn't plan to teach him a lesson, he wouldn't let me go." "Haha, that's true." Divine Blacksmith Burning Sword felt relieved when he heard Mo Qingyun's words. He felt that Mo Qingyun's words were true. At this moment, while Mo Qingyun and the others were talking, the heavily injured Fong Buochuan and the others were being carried away. Seeing Fong Buochuan and the others being carried away, the short elder Xieguang walked in front of them and said, "Since the results of the assessment are out, those who have obtained the qualifications to undergo ancestral awakening, please follow this old man." After Elder Xieguang spoke, he no longer hesitated and walked towards the inner part of the ancestral hall. Divine Blacksmith Burning Sword nodded at Mo Qingyun and said, "Qingyun, the primogenitive blood pool contains a large amount of ancestral blood. The more you refine, the more it will change your bloodline. You must do your best to refine it." "Yes, disciple understands." Mo Qingyun nodded and followed everyone into the ancestral hall. After a while, under Elder Xieguang's lead, everyone came to a blood-red cave dwelling. The surroundings of the cave were suffused with a dense blood aura, emitting a bewitching bloody light. In front of the cave dwelling, there was a powerful bloodline oppression that made it difficult to breathe. Some people with lower bloodline grades even started to tremble under the pressure of this bloodline. Elder Xieguang sighed and shook his head when he saw their reactions. There was a trace of disappointment in his eyes. In his opinion, if they couldn't even withstand the bloodline oppression, how could they refine the ancestral blood? This little guy only has a 5-star bloodline, but he can withstand the bloodline oppression. Elder Xieguang was surprised when he saw Mo Qingyun's reaction. He felt that Mo Qingyun's reaction was very unusual. In his opinion, with Mo Qingyun's bloodline talent, he shouldn't have been so calm. However, he didn't know that Mo Qingyun had a king-class bloodline. His ability to withstand the bloodline oppression was incomparable to others. Elder Xieguang made a hand gesture and opened the door of the cave dwelling. He then led everyone deeper into the cave. After a while, under Elder Xieguang's lead, everyone came to the front of 3 huge blood pools. When they stood in front of the 3 blood pools, the bloodline oppression became stronger, increasing the pressure on everyone. After glancing at the 3 blood pools, Elder Xieguang's expression became more serious. He said in a deep voice, "The 3 blood pools here correspond to the Golden Celestial Realm, Daoyuo Golden Celestial Realm, and Tai Xian Celestial Realm. Your bloodline is in the leftmost blood pool. Don't enter the other 2 blood pools." Yes. Everyone nodded when they heard Elder Xieguang's words. Elder Xieguang continued, "You only have a month to refine the ancestral blood. During this time, you'd better refine as much ancestral blood as possible. The more ancestral blood you refine, the greater the extent of your bloodline's ancestral awakening." Chapter 1746. Chi Chi Chi. When Mo Qingyun jumped into the ancestral blood pool, he felt a terrifying corrosive force crazily drilling into his body. Under this terrifying corrosive force, the surrounding people panicked and escaped from the blood pool one by one. There were a few weaker people who even shriveled up under the corrosion of the ancestral blood. How could this be? Seeing such a situation, everyone's eyes widened in disbelief. The ancestral blood was so powerful. How could they refine it to improve their bloodline grade? When everyone was shocked, they found that Mo Qingyun had his eyes closed, immersed in refining the ancestral blood. Although the ancestral blood was very powerful, it was not difficult for Mo Qingyun to refine it. He only needed to adapt for a while. Seeing Mo Qingyun's abnormal behavior, everyone's eyes widened, feeling very puzzled. That kid only has a 5-star bloodline. How can he withstand the corrosion of the ancestral blood? This kid is very strange. Maybe he found out the refining method. Since this kid can refine the ancestral blood, why don't we ask him? This idea is not bad. Let this kid tell us the refining method, so that we don't waste time here. Seeing Mo Qingyun refining the ancestral blood, everyone revealed jealous and envious gazes, preparing to interrogate Mo Qingyun. Soon, a person came to Mo Qingyun's side and ordered with an arrogant expression, "Kid, tell us the refining method of the ancestral blood." Hearing this person's command, Mo Qingyun withdrew from the refining and said indifferently, "If you don't have the ability to refine it, then get lost. Don't disturb me refining the ancestral blood. If you disturb me again, don't blame me for being impolite." The time to refine the ancestral blood was limited. Mo Qingyun did not want to talk nonsense with them and directly scolded them. "Kid, you're courting death." Seeing Mo Qingyun's attitude, a quasi-all-golden immortal stage youth immediately blasted out a palm at Mo Qingyun. Scram! Seeing this person's actions, Mo Qingyun's face darkened and he immediately shouted at him. Under Mo Qingyun's furious roar, that person was immediately sent flying. He fell to the ground, heavily injured, his face pale. Seeing this, the surrounding people all revealed looks of fear as they thought of Mo Qingyun's terrifying strength. Although they were all juniors of the main clan, in terms of true strength, they were not as powerful as Feng Buochuan and the others. Mo Qingyun shouted angrily. If he could cripple Feng Buochuan and the others, it would be too easy for him to deal with them. Under everyone's respectful gazes, Mo Qingyun shouted with a cold expression, "The ancestral blood is right here. If you can refine it, then refine it. If you can't, then scram. If anyone dares to bother me again, then don't blame me for being merciless. Brat, don't talk nonsense. We are all disciples of the main clan. Ting Chu, don't believe that you can do anything to me." In the face of Mo Qingyun's domineering attitude, a young man in a golden brocade robe glanced at Mo Qingyun with disdain. Tung? Hearing this young man's words, Mo Qingyun's face turned cold. He said, "Since you doubt my words, then I'll let you see if I dare to do anything to you." As Mo Qingyun's words fell, a sharp light burst out from his right eye. This light burst out and turned into a blade of light, instantly blasting Tung Chu's head. After his head was blasted apart by the blade of light, Tung Chu's body went limp and fell to the side of the ancestral blood pool. He killed Tung Chu. Is he not afraid of the Tung lineage? This guy is too overbearing. It's better not to provoke him. A wise man knows better than to fight when the odds are against him. We're not his match. It's better not to provoke him. Yeah, it's fine if we can't refine the ancestral blood, but it'll be a big loss if we lose our lives because of it. Everyone immediately revealed dread on their faces, walking to one side one after another, pulling apart a distance from Mo Qingyun. Seeing everyone's reaction, Mo Qingyun's face revealed a satisfied expression, continuing to refine the ancestral blood. Seeing Mo Qingyun refine the ancestral blood, the others did not waste time either, attempting to refine the ancestral blood. Although the ancestral blood was powerful and very difficult to refine, being able to refine a little was still a little. Very soon, some juniors with decent talent could barely refine the ancestral blood. As for those with weaker talent, when refining the ancestral blood, it was still incomparably difficult. Seeing such a situation, everyone discovered a pattern. The higher the bloodline talent, the easier it was to refine the ancestral blood. The speed of refining was also faster. Of course, Mo Qingyun, this 5-star bloodline guy, was an extreme, unconventional existence. Although everyone was very puzzled in their hearts as to why and how it was done, they did not dare to go and disturb Mo Qingyun. Following that, time slowly trickled by in everyone's refining. In this way, about 10 days had passed. At this moment, Mo Qingyun, who had been refining the ancestral blood, frowned and stopped refining. After these 10 days of refining, my bloodline has more than doubled. The ancestral blood in this pool is no longer of much use to me. After such a discovery, Mo Qingyun frowned and thought silently in his heart. It seems that the ancestral blood in the golden immortal ancestral blood pool is only at the upper king level. In this case, the ancestral blood in the golden immortal ancestral blood pool is very likely to be at the ancient level. Looking at the golden immortal ancestral blood pool next to him, Mo Qingyun silently deduced in his heart and left the golden immortal ancestral blood pool. Seeing Mo Qingyun's action, everyone was puzzled, not knowing what Mo Qingyun wanted to do. What was Mo Qingyun doing? Did he not want to refine the ancestral blood? Under the curious and puzzled gazes of the crowd, Mo Qingyun jumped into the golden immortal ancestral blood pool and began to refine the ancestral blood in it. Seeing Mo Qingyun's action, everyone widened their eyes and could not believe what they saw. Is he crazy? Isn't he afraid that the ancestral blood is too strong and will burst his body? This guy is too abnormal. Is he really a 5-star bloodline talent? This guy must have used some means to hide his bloodline talent. It must be so. Otherwise, his refining speed can't be faster than mine. Sister, damn me, if you have a 7-star bloodline talent, doesn't that mean he has an 8-star bloodline talent? Because of Mo Qingyun's abnormal behavior, everyone doubted Mo Qingyun's bloodline talent and speculated one after another. Although everyone was puzzled, they did not dare to disturb Mo Qingyun and just speculated among themselves. Chapter 1747. When Mo Qingyun entered the blood pool of a golden immortal of the Daluo golden immortal realm, he could clearly feel that the bloodline pressure had become several times stronger. This feeling was similar to when he first entered the blood pool of a golden immortal. It was as if his body was about to be torn apart. I wonder if my bloodline grade can reach the ancient grade after refining the ancestral blood in this blood pool. Sitting in the blood pool of a golden immortal of the Daluo golden immortal realm, Mo Qingyun had an expectant look on his face as he began to refine the ancestral blood in the blood pool. Under Mo Qingyun's refinement, the powerful ancestral blood was quickly absorbed into his body. When the ancestral blood entered Mo Qingyun's body, it started to fuse with the blood in his body. During this process, Mo Qingyun's bloodline grade also underwent a great change. As Mo Qingyun's bloodline grade increased, the bloodline pressure emitted from his body also began to become stronger. Perhaps because of the increase in bloodline grade, the seal on the bloodline power of the Door of Seals seemed to have loosened a lot. What a powerful bloodline pressure. That kid's bloodline grade has broken through. H's bloodline has reached the grade of 6 stars. It's not just 6 stars. It's at least 7 stars. Otherwise, I wouldn't feel the pressure. Under the bloodline pressure of Mo Qingyun's bloodline, everyone was shocked and turned to look at Mo Qingyun. At this moment, the way everyone looked at Mo Qingyun had changed greatly. When Mo Qingyun first arrived, he only had a 5-star bloodline talent. Now, it had reached 7 stars. This speed of improvement was a little too frightening. Only half of the bloodline atavism period had passed. There was still more than 10 days left. With Mo Qingyun's speed of improvement, when the bloodline atavism period ended, wouldn't he be able to rush to 9 stars? 9-star grade. Thinking of the grade that Mo Qingyun could reach, everyone was shocked and envious. Their feelings became more complicated. Comparing oneself to others was truly infuriating. It was difficult for them to refine even a little bit, but Mo Qingyun was like eating and drinking, madly increasing the grade of his bloodline. According to the current trend, once the bloodline atavism was over, Mo Qingyun's status would definitely soar to the sky. Mo Qingyun did not pay attention to what everyone was thinking. Right now, he only wanted to refine more ancestral blood as quickly as possible. After all, this kind of opportunity to raise the grade of one's bloodline was very rare. Under Mo Qingyun's desperate refining, the effect of the ancestral blood in the blood pool of the Daluo Golden Immortal was constantly weakening. Just like that, another few days passed. Mo Qingyun opened his eyes again and withdrew from the refining process. With a disappointed expression, he said, "The ancestral blood in the blood pool of the Daluo Golden Immortal has almost no effect on raising the grade of my bloodline. I have to try it in the blood pool of the Tai Xian Immortal." Looking at the ancestral blood pool of the Tai Xian Immortal, Mo Qingyun hesitated for a moment, but still decided to enter it to refine the ancestral blood. After Mo Qingyun made up his mind, he did not waste any more time and immediately walked into the blood pool of the Tai Xian Immortal. Seeing Mo Qingyun's action, everyone was shocked and their eyes were dull. He ran into the ancestral blood pool of the Tai Xian Immortal. Does this guy really want to die? My heavenly soul demon bloodline must be fake. Otherwise, why is the gap so big? What kind of terrifying level has this guy's bloodline reached? It's actually so abnormal. The surrounding people were all shocked, and they were extremely afraid of Mo Qingyun. They knew very well that once Mo Qingyun left this place, he would be heavily nurtured by the main family. Mo Qingyun did not know what others were thinking. Of course, he did not care about it. After entering the ancestral blood pool of the Tai Xian Immortal, Mo Qingyun clearly felt the pressure increase sharply, as if his body was about to explode. Hang in there. Feeling the swelling feeling in his body, Mo Qingyun gritted his teeth and desperately refined the ancestral blood. Under Mo Qingyun's perseverance, the pressure of the ancestral blood in the blood pool of the Tai Xian Immortal began to gradually decrease. Gradually, Mo Qingyun got used to the ancestral blood in the blood pool of the Tai Xian Immortal. At this moment, Elder Xieguang, who had left earlier, rushed over in a panic. When Elder Xieguang arrived, he looked at the ancestral blood pool of the Tai Xian Immortal. When Elder Xieguang saw Mo Qingyun in the blood pool, he was horrified and said in surprise, "It's actually him." He entered the blood pool of the Tai Xian Immortal and refined the highest grade ancestral blood. This kid's performance is really surprising. The last time someone refined the ancestral blood of the Tai Xian Immortal was 10 million years ago. Elder Xieguang recalled, and his eyes were filled with anticipation. He said nervously, "At that time, Ancestor Qin Feng raised the grade of his bloodline to the ancient grade, causing the bloodline of the entire Heavenly Soul Demon clan to revert to its ancestor. I don't know if this kid can do that." When Elder Xieguang thought of this, he saw the anticipation in Mo Qingyun's eyes. If this kid's bloodline can reach the ancient grade, it will benefit the entire Heavenly Soul Demon clan and purify the bloodline of all humans. When this thought appeared in Elder Xieguang's mind, he nervously guarded Emo Qingyun by his side. Then time passed by slowly. During this period of time, Elder Xieguang did not leave the place at all. He wholeheartedly guarded Emo Qingyun by his side. He was afraid that at this critical moment, someone would interrupt Emo Qingyun's cultivation and cause Emo Qingyun's bloodline to fail to reach the ancient grade. At this moment, whether Emo Qingyun's bloodline could reach the ancient grade or not was no longer his problem. It was the problem of the entire Heavenly Soul Demon clan. At this moment, he could not afford to be careless. He had to be very careful. About 8 days later, Emo Qingyun's bloodline pressure suddenly entered a new level. His bloodline pressure had increased. 9 stars? How can it be 9 stars? When Emo Qingyun's bloodline grade increased, Elder Xieguang sensed the grade of Emo Qingyun's bloodline. He was shocked and disappointed. He said, "How can this be?" To be able to withstand the impact of the ancestral blood of the Tai Xian Immortal Realm blood pool, his bloodline must be at least at the king grade. How can his bloodline grade only be 9 stars? At this moment, Elder Xieguang was very puzzled. He did not understand why. Boom! While Elder Xieguang was puzzled, Emo Qingyun's aura suddenly increased, as if it had broken through some seal. As Emo Qingyun's aura skyrocketed, the bloodline pressure he exuded also skyrocketed. Chapter 1748. The suppression of the sealed door was broken, and a thick blood aura began to gather outside Emo Qingyun's body. This terrifying blood aura gathered outside Emo Qingyun's body and immediately formed a huge blood-red figure. When this blood-red figure was formed, it penetrated the blood-red cave abode and rushed into the sky. Boom, boom, boom. The blood-red figure rushed into the sky and immediately caused a strange phenomenon. Lightning flashed and thunder rumbled in the sky, and dark clouds gathered. Seeing such a scene, the juniors at the side were all dumbfounded. What kind of situation was this? In their opinion, even if Emo Qingyun's bloodline grade had increased, it shouldn't have caused such a huge commotion. Now, Emo Qingyun's situation was completely beyond their knowledge. It was something they had never seen or heard of before. Ancient class, it really is an ancient class bloodline. The juniors nearby didn't know the reason, but it didn't mean that Elder Xieguang didn't know. He immediately saw through Emo Qingyun's situation. Emo Qingyun's bloodline grade had successfully reached the ancient class. After knowing Emo Qingyun's bloodline grade, Xieguang's old face flushed red with excitement. Emo Qingyun's bloodline grade had reached the ancient class. It would cause the bloodline of the entire Heavenly Soul Demon clan to revert to their ancestors. To the Heavenly Soul Demon clan, this was simply a great fortune. Putting the entire Heavenly Soul Demon clan aside, to Xieguang, this was a great fortune. His cultivation had been stagnant for many years. If he could use this opportunity to improve his bloodline grade further, he would be able to. Perhaps his stagnant cultivation would have a chance to improve further. Hearing Xieguang's excited words, the juniors nearby also knew about Emo Qingyun's bloodline grade. His bloodline grade has reached the ancient class. From the looks of it, his previous bloodline should have reached the king level. So he has a king class bloodline. No wonder he refined the ancestral blood so quickly. Now I feel better. It can't be compared to a king class bloodline. Knowing the grade of Mo Qingyun's bloodline, the juniors beside him all relaxed, as if they had obtained a kind of release. Sometimes, if the gap between two people was not too big, it would form a kind of competitive relationship. Once the gap between the two of them became too big, they would no longer want to compete because it would be meaningless. In the square of the ancestral shrine, when everyone saw the scene in the sky, their faces were filled with shock, and they became excited. Ancient bloodline. This is the awakening of an ancient bloodline. I was fortunate enough to witness it. Who would have thought that there would be someone among this group of juniors who has awakened an ancient bloodline? Good, good, good. The heavens are really protecting my heavenly soul demon race. They have given my race a great fortune. Now, this old man's stagnant cultivation will have a chance to advance further. Looking at the scene in front of them, everyone's expression became excited, and their faces revealed ecstatic smiles. To them, no matter who awakened the ancient bloodline, it was a great thing. Master, who do you think the person with the ancient bloodline is? Mannion looked at the blood-red figure in the sky, her pair of beautiful eyes blinking constantly, and asked the burning sword divine craftsman beside her. Hearing Mannion's question, the burning sword divine craftsman frowned slightly and said in a deep voice, "No matter who has awakened the ancient bloodline, this is a matter worth celebrating for the heavenly soul demon race." Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Because the appearance of the ancient bloodline had caused too much commotion, it immediately attracted the attention of many people. Not long after, a terrifying aura descended upon the ancestral shrine. The appearance of an ancient bloodline is no small matter. This matter cannot be leaked out. Let's seal the ancestral shrine immediately. That's right. If those guys know about it, they will definitely find a way to destroy it. No matter whether those guys come or not, we can't be careless and let this little guy suffer any mishaps. Several elders came to the sky above the ancestral shrine, and they began to set up a formation to seal the entire ancestral shrine. The moment the elders took action, the blood-red figure in the sky above the ancestral shrine shone even brighter. At this moment, a huge projection of an ancient tree appeared in the distant void. As soon as the projection of the ancient tree appeared, a ball of flame ignited on it, and it flew toward the blood-red figure in the sky above the ancestral shrine. The fire of civilization. That's the fire of civilization. Since the fall of the previous master of civilization, the fire of civilization has never appeared again. I didn't expect this little guy to awaken the ancient bloodline to cause the fire of civilization to descend. It seems like this little guy's talent is more terrifying than we thought. Seeing the fiery figure in the projection of the ancient tree, everyone was shocked, and they were all excited. Under everyone's excited gaze, the ball of fire of civilization merged with the blood-red figure. After merging with the fire of civilization, the blood-red figure clearly became more solid, and its aura became more powerful. Boom, boom, boom. The blood-red figure shone brightly, releasing a dazzling blood-red light that blinded everyone's eyes. While everyone was still in shock, a huge black figure flew over from the distant starry sky. That's the primogenitor's body. This little guy has activated the primogenitor's body. Activating the primogenitor's body means that his bloodline grade will continue to increase after atavism. If his bloodline reaches the ancestral level, he will once again trigger the ancestral awakening of our clan's bloodline. This is a blessing from the heavens. A blessing from the heavens. This is a great opportunity for the heavenly soul demons to rise. Everyone was so excited that even their bodies were trembling. They could not suppress their excitement. Mo Qingyun knew nothing about the commotion in the outside world. Now, he was immersed in a strange state. One after another, huge figures appeared in his mind. When this huge figure appeared, he was practicing his divine ability. He threw a punch into the void and directly blew up a planet. He blew up a planet with a punch. He waved his hand and directly destroyed several planets. His right eye flashed, and a beam of golden light burst out from his eye, instantly piercing through a planet. He opened his left eye, and a black mist emerged. Wherever the black mist passed, all living beings were enslaved in the blink of an eye. Then, this huge figure kept practicing in Mo Qingyun's sea of consciousness. Too powerful. Mo Qingyun was shocked to the core as he watched the giant figure practice. He felt as if his blood was about to explode. At this moment, he felt that he was that person, and that person was him. Just as Mo Qingyun was feeling shocked, a massive amount of information flooded his mind in an overbearing manner. Under the impact of this huge amount of information, Mo Qingyun felt his consciousness blur, and he slowly fell into a deep sleep. Chapter 1749. Seeing that Mo Qingyun had fallen into a deep sleep, Xie Guang was immediately shocked. He hurriedly walked to Mo Qingyun's side. When Xie Guang reached Mo Qingyun's side, he did not touch Mo Qingyun. He only guarded Mo Qingyun nervously. He could tell that Mo Qingyun's current situation was likely to be a bloodline inheritance. This was a most crucial stage. Mo Qingyun could not be disturbed in the slightest, in case his inheritance was interrupted. While Mo Qingyun was receiving the inheritance, the bloodline of all the heavenly soul demons was undergoing a transformation. The bloodline in their bodies was like a sleeping tiger that was slowly awakening. After such a discovery, no one dared to hesitate and immediately entered the state of cultivation. The bloodline is indeed beginning to revert. Sensing the situation of the bloodline in his body, Xie Guang was pleasantly surprised. He became excited. After that, he stopped thinking about it and continued to cultivate by Mo Qingyun's side. While Xie Guang cultivated, he also paid some attention to Mo Qingyun's situation. Then time slowly passed. In this period of time, the heavenly soul demon race entered a frenzy of cultivation. Everyone was immersed in cultivation. At every moment, some heavenly soul demon race clansman's bloodline grade would increase. In the blink of an eye, 10 days had passed. After sleeping for 10 days, Mo Qingyun finally woke up. He looked around in a daze. When Mo Qingyun woke up, Xie Guang came out of his cultivation. He smiled kindly and said, "Little fellow, you're awake. How do you feel?" "Thank you, elder. You've been protecting me by my side. I'm fine." Mo Qingyun was grateful for Xie Guang's words of concern. He thanked him. "You're welcome. You're the future hope of our race. It's my duty to protect you." In response to Mo Qingyun's words of gratitude, Elder Xie Guang waved his hand with a faint smile. His gaze towards Mo Qingyun became even gentler. He was not lying. With Mo Qingyun's powerful gifts, he would definitely be able to lead the heavenly soul demon race to a new height in the future. "Elder, since bloodline awakening is complete, I'll take my leave first." Seeing that bloodline atavism was over, Mo Qingyun was not willing to stay any longer and prepared to leave this place immediately. Just now, he had obtained several powerful divine abilities from the bloodline inheritance. He had to go back and practice them immediately. "Wait." Seeing that Mo Qingyun was about to leave, Xie Guang said to Mo Qingyun. Then, he looked at the others and said, "It's time for your bloodline to revert to its ancestor. Come with me." At Xie Guang's command, all the juniors who were still cultivating stopped cultivating one after another. The newcomer withdrew from his cultivation and immediately joined Xie Guang. He looked at Mo Qingyun with a complicated gaze. There was envy, jealousy, and gratitude. "All right, let's go out." After gathering everyone, Xie Guang spoke a few words to everyone before leading everyone out of the immortal cave. Hearing Xie Guang's command, Mo Qingyun followed behind Xie Guang and walked out of the cave residence together. As for the thoughts of those around him, Mo Qingyun did not care about them and did not take them to heart. These people were all in the golden immortal realm and could not pose a threat to him. After a while, under Xie Guang's lead, everyone returned to the center of the ancestral temple. "Master, look, little junior brother is out." Seeing that Mo Qingyun had returned to the center of the ancestral temple, Man Yin was surprised and said to the divine craftsman burning sword beside her. Seeing that Mo Qingyun and the others had come out, everyone was nervous. They wanted to know who had awakened the ancient bloodline. Xie Guang, who among them is the one who awakened the ancient bloodline. Seeing that Xie Guang and the others had taken action, the few elders above the ancestral temple immediately came to Mo Qingyun and the others. "Greetings, supreme elders." Looking at the few elders in front of him, Xie Guang bowed respectfully and pointed at Mo Qingyun beside him. "Supreme elders, the one who awakened the ancient bloodline is this guy called Mo Qingyun. It's him." Hearing Xie Guang's words, everyone's eyes widened. They could not believe that it was true. To them, this situation was unexpected. Did I hear wrongly? The one who awakened the ancient bloodline is that guy. No wonder that guy's strength is so terrifying. It turns out that his bloodline talent is monstrous. If he can awaken the ancient bloodline, his bloodline talent is probably at the king level. His bloodline talent was at the king level before ancestral awakening. Even Tung Xiao, who has the highest bloodline talent in the clan, is much weaker than him. Knowing that the one who awakened the ancient bloodline was Mo Qingyun, everyone's eyes widened and they could not believe it. Junior brother, he awakened the ancient bloodline? Getting such a result, Man Yan's beautiful eyes widened. Her heart could not calm down for a long time. This news was a little too sudden for her. Compared to Man Yan's feelings, the Burning Sword Divine Craftsman was also excited. Even his arms were trembling. Good boy. You really hit it well. You fooled us all. Possessing extraordinary cultivation talent, yet not arrogant or rash at all, I have taken in a good disciple. A strong sense of pride grew in the Burning Sword Divine Craftsman's heart, giving rise to the feeling of crying tears of joy. In the Burning Sword Divine Craftsman's opinion, an ordinary person with Mo Qingyun's talent would be arrogant to the heavens. On the other hand, when Mo Qingyun entered the main clan, he did not have the slightest conceit or arrogance. His entire person looked extremely low-key. If not for the bloodline ancestral awakening this time, perhaps no one would have thought that Mo Qingyun's talent was so shocking. Compared to the Burning Sword Divine Craftsman's mood, Tung Xiao and the others were in a terrible mood. To them, the higher Mo Qingyun's talent was, the worse their situation was. Given their relationship with the Burning Sword Divine Craftsman, if Mo Qingyun matured, he would definitely not let them go. Soon, a ray of light flashed in the eyes of Tung Dan and the others. Of course, Tung Dan and the others' expressions were very well hidden, and no one noticed. Good, very good. Knowing that Mo Qingyun had awakened the ancient bloodline, the few grand elders were pleasantly surprised and kept praising Mo Qingyun. The several old men praised Mo Qingyun. One of them, a red-haired old man, had a puzzled look on his face as he said, "This old man has some impressions of the talented brats in the main family, but you little fellow don't look familiar." Upon hearing the red-haired old man's words, the other grand elders also looked at Mo Qingyun in surprise. Under the gazes of the grand elders, Mo Qingyun replied with an indifferent expression, "To be honest, grand elders, I have been training in the divine wasteland domain and have just returned to the heavenly soul demon race." In Mo Qingyun's view, after such a big commotion, his identity could not be concealed anymore. Chapter 1750. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, all the supreme elders widened their eyes. They were shocked by Mo Qingyun's words. They finally understood why Mo Qingyun's talent was so outstanding, yet they had no impression of him at all. It turned out that Mo Qingyun was a genius who had gone out to train. He had not been in the Heavenly Soul Demon clan since he was young. He has always been training in the divine wasteland domain. After knowing Mo Qingyun's identity and background, the red-haired old man pondered. He thought back to the geniuses who had been sent out to train in the past 1,000 years. After a while, he revealed a puzzled expression. He could not find a suitable identity for Mo Qingyun. He said, "That's strange. In the past 1,000 years, among the geniuses sent out by the Heavenly Soul Demon clan, none were sent to the divine wasteland domain." Hearing the red-haired old man's words, everyone was puzzled. They were even more curious about Mo Qingyun's identity. Before anyone could figure out, a silver-haired old man looked at Mo Qingyun in shock. "Your skeletal age is less than 30 years. Could it be that you haven't cultivated for 30 years yet?" What? He has cultivated for less than 30 years. His bone age is only 28 years. He really is less than 30 years. That's too terrifying. No wonder he has the talent of a king bloodline. After discovering Mo Qingyun's bone age, everyone was shocked. They could not believe it. This was too shocking. From what they knew, Tang Xiao, who had the highest talent among the Heavenly Soul Demon clan, had used hundreds of years to reach the Golden Immortal Realm. In comparison, the gap between Tang Xiao and Mo Qingyun's talent was not small. Only 28 years of cultivation? After knowing Mo Qingyun's cultivation time, the red-haired old man was even more puzzled. He said, "Little guy, tell me honestly, what's your origin?" In their opinion, Mo Qingyun's bloodline could awaken to the ancient bloodline and cause the entire demon clan's bloodline to revert to its ancestral state. Mo Qingyun would not be a dark devil. He would be a true heavenly soul devil. Although the dark devil race had the means to implant a bloodline into a person's body, the grade of the bloodline could not be increased. It was precisely because of this that Mo Qingyun's identity was so strange that they couldn't figure it out. Under everyone's gazes, Mo Qingyun pondered for a moment before he said, "I'm not too sure about my true identity. I was adopted by an ordinary clan when I was young. Then I cultivated bit by bit until I reached where I am today." As for his true identity, Mo Qingyun spoke half-truths and half-lies. As for the origin of his bloodline, he would never reveal it. If others knew that his bloodline was inherited, they would definitely be wary of him. One had to know that Mo Qingyun had inherited the bloodline, which meant that he was not a true heavenly soul demon. So that's how it is. From the looks of it, his elders must have entrusted him to an ordinary family when they fled. That's most likely the case. What a pitiful child. Child, this will be your home in the future. Live your life here with peace of mind. After figuring out Mo Qingyun's identity, the elders all sighed emotionally and offered words of consolation to Mo Qingyun. In their view, it had not been easy for Mo Qingyun to reach his current level through his own efforts. Mo Qingyun was taken aback by the elders' conjectures and couldn't help but admire their imagination. Though surprised by the elders' imagination, Mo Qingyun did not explain. In his view, since his identity had been made clear, there was no need to cause any more trouble. The elder spoke a few more words with Mo Qingyun before announcing to confirm it in 3 days. After figuring out Mo Qingyun's identity, the elders gave Mo Qingyun some words of encouragement before leaving the ancestral hall together. After the elders left, Mo Qingyun walked toward the burning sword divine blacksmith and prepared to return to their residence with them. "Master, disciple hid the truth from you because I had no choice but to do so. I hope you can forgive me." Walking up to the burning sword divine blacksmith, Mo Qingyun bowed and apologized. Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, the burning sword divine blacksmith calmly waved his hand and replied, "Don't mind it. Master understands. If you're willing to tell me, you can tell me later." "Okay." Mo Qingyun nodded. "Let's go back." After exchanging a few more words with Mo Qingyun, the burning sword divine blacksmith waved his hand and led everyone back to their residence. As Mo Qingyun left, the others in the ancestral hall also left. Not long after, Mo Qingyun returned to his residence with the burning sword divine blacksmith leading the way. After everyone returned to their residence, Man Yin and the others went into seclusion to adapt to the improvement of their bloodline. After Man Yin and the others left, the burning sword divine blacksmith gestured to Mo Qingyun and led Mo Qingyun to his residence. "Have a seat." After returning to his residence, the burning sword divine blacksmith waved his hand and gestured Mo Qingyun to take a seat. He said, "There's no one here now. You can tell me about yourself." "Sure." Mo Qingyun nodded and sat down. He began to tell the burning sword divine blacksmith about himself. "Master, disciple hid it from you because I have an enemy in the main clan. His talent and identity are extraordinary, so I have to be careful." "Oh." The burning sword divine blacksmith was curious. He was interested in the enemy that Mo Qingyun mentioned. He asked, "Tell me, who is your enemy? Let's see if I can help you." "Tong Xiao." Mo Qingyun did not hide it. He told the burning sword divine blacksmith about Tong Xiao. "Tong Xiao?" The burning sword divine blacksmith was startled. He was surprised by Mo Qingyun's words. He did not expect the enemy that Mo Qingyan mentioned was from Teng Zhao's faction too. Haha, interesting, interesting. Divine craftsman Fun Jian laughed heartily after learning who Mo Qingyun's enemy was. I didn't expect that both my master and disciple's enemies would be from the Teng lineage. Looks like we're fated to meet. Disciple was willing to follow you because I could tell that you weren't on good terms with Elder Teng Dan. Mo Qingyun smiled awkwardly after hearing the burning sword divine blacksmith's words. He explained briefly before adding, I was thinking that since you weren't on good terms with Elder Teng Dan, and he seemed to be a little scared of you, it wouldn't be a bad idea to follow you. Kid, you're quite cunning. The burning sword divine blacksmith was impressed by Mo Qingyun's explanation. He praised Mo Qingyun and said, logically speaking, you've only cultivated for a little over 20 years, and you're not in the main Tianhan demon race. It should be very difficult for you to cross paths with Teng Xiao. What's going on between the two of you? The burning sword divine blacksmith was very confused. He did not understand why Mo Qingyun and Teng Xiao hated each other. Disciple doesn't understand either. Mo Qingyun shook his head. He was also very confused. He said, one day I was suddenly pursued by a group of people. I only learned that I was being pursued by someone called Teng Xiao after I took his memories. After learning Teng Xiao's identity, I came to the main Tianhan demon race to fight him. Chapter 1751. Main Clan in a meeting hall. Many people had gathered here, each of them wearing a gloomy expression, causing the atmosphere in the hall to be heavy. After a moment of silence, the middle-aged man at the top of the hall was the first to break the silence. Elder Teng Dan, tell us in detail what happened in the ancestral hall. The person who spoke was the Teng clan's patriarch, Teng Hui. Yes, Teng Dan nodded and began to describe the situation in detail. The more they listened to Teng Dan, the more solemn their expressions became and the uglier their expressions became. After a short while, when Teng Dan finished, their expressions became even uglier. They had never thought that the blazing sword divine craftsman, who had a grudge against them, would take in such a disciple. This was not good news. It seems that the kid called Mo Qingyun is going to stand up for the blazing sword divine craftsman. After listening to Teng Dan's words, Teng Hui sighed with a cold expression. Mo Qingyun's talent is extraordinary. This time, his bloodline has advanced to the ancient grade and has attracted the attention of many elders. It won't be easy to deal with him. The crowd fell silent again. The blazing sword divine craftsman is really lucky to have taken in such a disciple. Mo Qingyun's talent is extraordinary. If we allow him to grow, it won't be good for us. He has only cultivated for 28 years, and his cultivation has reached the quasi-golden immortal realm. This speed is too frightening. We can't let him grow smoothly. Even if he incurs public anger because of this, we can't let him grow. The crowd pondered for a moment and immediately made a decision. They were prepared to take the risk and attack Mo Qingyun. In their opinion, if they killed Mo Qingyun, they would be condemned by their clansmen. With their power in the clan, they could find some scapegoats and suppress the matter. However, if they allowed Mo Qingyun to grow, the consequences would be very terrifying. If there came a day when they were unable to suppress Mo Qingyun, that would be the beginning of their nightmare. Hearing the elders' conversation, a young man with a cold and arrogant expression suddenly interjected, Father, elders, you don't have to worry too much. Mo Qingyun is only at the golden celestial stage. No matter how powerful his bloodline talent is, he won't be able to do anything. Jianger, don't be careless. That kid is not simple. Seeing Teng Zhang's attitude, Teng Hui's face turned solemn as he immediately warned Teng Jiang. He was worried that Teng Jiang would be defeated by Mo Qingyun because of his arrogance and underestimation of his enemy. However, Teng Jiang did not take Teng Hui's warning seriously. Instead, it aroused Teng Jiang's arrogance. At this moment, a young man in a golden training suit walked into the hall with a cold expression. Big brother, Prince Teng Xiao, Xiao you've come out of seclusion. Come here and sit down. Seeing this young man walking over, Everyone in the hall greeted him one after another. That's right, this young man was Tang Xiao, who had a grudge against Mo Qingyan. Tang Xiao nodded in response to everyone's greetings. He walked to the front of the hall and sat down. Recently, when I was cultivating, I suddenly discovered that my bloodline talent had automatically reverted to its ancestral state. I'm here to ask about the reason. Little brother, let me tell you about this matter. When he heard Tang Xiao's question, Tang Jiang, who was sitting at the bottom of the hall, said with a disdainful expression, "A few days ago, a guy called Mo Qingyan came to the clan. Not only did he become the disciple of the divine craftsman of the burning sword, but he also awakened his ancient grade bloodline during the bloodline talent reversion a few days ago. This triggered the bloodline resonance of the entire clan and caused the bloodline talent in his body to revert to its ancestral state." Mo Qingyan? After hearing Tang Jiang's explanation, Tang Xiao revealed a cold smile and said, "So it's him. It seems that I have to thank him. However, he has some guts to come to the main clan." "Xiao, do you know him?" After hearing Tang Xiao's words, Teng Hui, who was sitting above Tang Xiao, asked curiously. Tang Jiang and the others below also had curious expressions on their faces as their gazes fell on Tang Xiao. Under everyone's gazes, Tang Xiao's expression became colder as he said, "This brat has something that I need. I once sent people to hunt him down, but I didn't expect him to come to the main clan. This saves me some trouble." "Big brother, you just said that you want to thank him. What do you mean?" Tang Jiang was puzzled as he recalled Tang Xiao's words and asked Tang Xiao in return. When he heard Tang Jiang's words, Tang Xiao smiled faintly and said, "Because that brat's bloodline talent has been upgraded to the ancient grade. This allowed my bloodline talent reversion to successfully upgrade to the king grade." King grade bloodline. When everyone in the hall heard Tang Xiao's words, they immediately revealed ecstatic smiles. This was great news for them. While everyone was congratulating Tang Xiao, he raised his head and looked into the distance. Although the ancient grade bloodline talent is powerful and precious, it needs to mature. If it can't mature, it will be nothing more than a flower in the long river of history. When they heard Tang Xiao's words, everyone nodded and discussed with Tang Xiao. Mo Qingyun's residence. After chatting with the Burning Sword Divine Blacksmith for a while, Mo Qingyun left his residence. When Mo Qingyun returned to his residence, he didn't waste any time and immediately entered the Fortune mainland to cultivate. In the process of bloodline talent reversion, my cultivation has taken another step forward. It's time to break through. Mo Qingyun sat cross-legged on the Fortune mainland. He didn't want to waste any more time and was preparing to break through to the Golden Immortal stage. His cultivation had reached a critical point, and he couldn't continue suppressing it. He had to break through to the Golden Immortal stage immediately. Moreover, he still had some powerful enemies in the Heavenly Soul Devil clan. It was safer for him to be stronger. When he thought of this, Mo Qingyun didn't hesitate anymore and immediately broke through to the Golden Immortal stage. The first step to the Golden Immortal stage was to condense one's soul force and ignite a soul fire. Mo Qingyun's soul force had already surpassed the spirit-severing stage. It wasn't difficult for him to do this. When Mo Qingyun condensed his soul force, flames immediately appeared in his sea of consciousness. It was like a sea of fire. When he felt the sea of fire in his sea of consciousness, Mo Qingyun was stunned. He was very surprised by his situation. In his knowledge, when others ignited their soul fire, it was the size of a firefly. His current situation was that he had ignited an endless sea of fire. This situation was too strange. Although he was shocked by his situation, Mo Qingyun didn't think too much about it. Based on the current situation, his soul force had become stronger after igniting his soul fire. Since this was a good thing, he didn't need to worry about it. Chapter 1752. 3 days later, Mo Qingyun, who was cultivating on the Fortune mainland, suddenly exuded an aura that reached a whole new level. When Mo Qingyun's aura changed, Mo Qingyun exited from his cultivation with a brilliant smile on his face. His cultivation had broken through to the great principal golden immortal realm. Boom, boom, boom. Just as Mo Qingyun's cultivation broke through, the Fortune mainland shook violently, as if the Earth's crust was moving. Noticing the Fortune mainland's movements, Mo Qingyun's expression changed, and he hurriedly released his divine sense to observe. Under Mo Qingyun's observation, he discovered that the Fortune mainland's surface area was expanding at a speed visible to the naked eye. Other than that, there were various strange phenomena occurring on the Fortune mainland. Following the appearance of these strange phenomena, the Fortune mainland's aboriginals began to receive fortunes one after another. In a short period of time, the Fortune mainland's aboriginals broke through to the next realm one after another. Every time my cultivation breaks through, the Fortune mainland undergoes a qualitative change. I wonder what it will become in the end. Noticing the changes on the Fortune mainland, Mo Qingyun's expression changed, looking forward to the changes on the Fortune mainland. At this time, while Mo Qingyun was pondering, the light gate martial spirit throbbed. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun did not dare to hesitate, and immediately sent a wisp of his divine sense into the light gate martial spirit. As his divine sense entered the light gate martial spirit, Mo Qingyun discovered that the combination gate inside the light gate martial spirit was undergoing changes. Originally, there were only 3 grooves on the combination gate, but now there was an additional groove, increasing the number of grooves on the combination gate to 4. 4 grooves. What kind of martial spirit's divine ability should I embed this time? Mo Qingyun's divine sense looked at the combination gate with 4 grooves, and his mind raced. Currently, the combination gate had been embedded with the domain gate, sealing gate, and concealment gate. Embedding the transmission gate won't increase my battle power by much. I should embed the fusion gate first. Mo Qingyun pondered briefly, and he immediately came up with an answer. He decided to embed the fusion gate first. Then, the light gate that represented the fusion gate was embedded into the combination gate. After doing all this, Mo Qingyun withdrew his consciousness and began to observe the changes in his soul. Under Mo Qingyun's observation, he discovered that his sea of spiritual flames had become even vaster. With the strength of my soul fire sea, even if it's the soul of a 9 heavens first layer expert, I can still instantly burn it. After observing his sea of soul flames, Mo Qingyun made a rough assessment of the might of his sea of soul flames. Withdrawing his consciousness from the sea of soul flames, Mo Qingyun did not continue to be distracted and immersed himself in cultivation. About half a day later, after stabilizing the realm he had just broken through, Mo Qingyun stopped cultivating and slowly stood up. I almost forgot, today is the day of the conferment ceremony. Exiting from cultivation, Mo Qingyun's expression changed. He suddenly thought of something important. Looks like I won't have the chance to cultivate those inherited abilities now. Then, Mo Qingyun's figure flickered and he left the Fortune mainland. Just as Mo Qingyun returned to his room, he heard Man Yan's voice coming from the courtyard. Junior brother, Master wants me to remind you that today is the day of the conferment ceremony. Coming. Hearing Man Yan's words, Mo Qingyun responded and walked out of his room. Seeing Mo Qingyun walk out of his room, Man Yan smiled sweetly and quickly walked towards Mo Qingyun. Then, Mo Qingyun and Man Yan left the courtyard together. Soon, the two of them arrived in front of the Burning Sword Divine Craftsman and the others. Why are you only here now? Seeing Mo Qingyun and Man Yan's arrival, the Burning Sword Divine Craftsman was puzzled and he hurriedly asked Mo Qingyun. In his opinion, on such an important day like today, Mo Qingyun should have made preparations early. Facing the Burning Sword Divine Craftsman's question, Mo Qingyun laughed awkwardly and said, coincidentally, my cultivation broke through to the great overarching golden immortal realm, so I was delayed a little. Oh, hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the Burning Sword Divine Craftsman's eyes lit up and he quickly sensed Emo Qingyun's aura. After sensing it, a gratified smile appeared on the burning sword divine craftsman's face as he nodded repeatedly. You are indeed in the great, overarching, golden, immortal realm. It seems like you have gained a lot from the bloodline awakening. Emo Qingyun nodded and did not reply. All right, it's getting late. Let's go to the conferment stage. Knowing the reason why Emo Qingyun was late, the burning sword divine craftsman did not waste any more time and rushed to the conferment stage. Seeing the burning sword divine craftsman move, Emo Qingyun and the others hurriedly followed and rushed to the conferment stage. On the way to the conferment stage, the burning sword divine craftsman had a solemn expression and reminded Emo Qingyun, every prince will be challenged by many juniors during the conferment process. You should be prepared to be challenged during the conferment ceremony later. Master, you seem to be overthinking. Who would be Junior Brother's match? Have you forgotten about the bloodline awakening test? Hearing the burning sword divine craftsman's words, Man Yin instinctively had such a thought. She blinked at Emo Qingyun and said, Junior Brother, if anyone dares to challenge you later, beat them up and let them know how powerful you are. All right. Emo Qingyun nodded and did not take it to heart. He agreed with Man Yan's words. No one in the same realm was a match for him. Seeing Emo Qingyun's nonchalant expression, the burning sword divine craftsman's expression became more serious, and he said, Don't forget that when Qingyun's bloodline awakened, he was only at the indestructible golden body stage. Now that he is at the Daluo golden immortal stage, his opponents will be at the Daluo golden immortal stage. I can't believe I forgot about that. Hearing this, Man Yan's face immediately tensed up, and a worried expression appeared on her face. Because Emo Qingyun had just broken through, and because of her habitual thinking, she still thought that Emo Qingyun was at the indestructible golden body stage. Seeing Man Yan's expression, Emo Qingyun still looked indifferent and comforted her with a faint smile. Senior sister, don't worry. No matter what realm the opponent is at, as long as he dares to challenge me, I will teach him a lesson. Seeing Emo Qingyun's confident look, the burning sword divine craftsman shook his head with a faint smile and did not remind Emo Qingyun anymore. In his opinion, if Emo Qingyun dared to say such a thing, he must have his own trump card. During the bloodline awakening, Emo Qingyun's performance had given them a pleasant surprise. Next, Emo Qingyun and the others talked as they walked and arrived in front of a huge square. In the center of the square, there was a huge platform with a huge statue erected on it. Below the statue, there was a golden crown. It seemed to be used to crown someone. Chapter 1753. The arrival of Emo Qingyun and the others immediately attracted everyone's attention. Under everyone's gaze, Emo Qingyun, the burning sword divine craftsman, and the others walked to the front of the platform. Go up. Coming to the front of the stage, the burning sword divine craftsman nodded to Emo Qingyun, indicating that he should go up the stage to receive the title. Emo Qingyun nodded. With a leap, he flew to the top of the stage. Emo Qingyun came to the stage and saw a familiar person. It was the red-haired elder from a few days ago. Greetings, seniors. Emo Qingyun came before the red-haired elder and the others with a humble expression and clasped his hands at the elders. No need for formalities. Seeing Emo Qingyun's actions, the elders hurriedly waved their hands and greeted Emo Qingyun warmly. After exchanging pleasantries with Emo Qingyun, the red-haired elder walked forward and said loudly, This is Emo Qingyun, the most talented junior in the heavenly soul demon race in the past 10 million years. It is because of his ancient bloodline that we obtained bloodline ancestral awakening. Prince Qingyun has unparalleled talent. Prince Azure Cloud, you have made great contributions. Prince Qingyun has brought prosperity to all generations. As soon as the red-haired old man's words fell, the crowd in the square immediately burst into a hubbub of cheers. Seeing everyone's excitement, the red-haired elder spread his hands and said, Everyone, quiet down. Now, we will confer the title to Qingyun. Hearing the elder's words, everyone immediately quieted down and quietly watched Mo Qingyun being conferred the title. The conferring ceremony was a little complicated. It went on for several hours before the ceremony was complete. After the ceremony, the red-haired elder picked up the crown and put it on Mo Qingyun. He said, "Little guy, from now on, you're the prince of our race." "Thank you, senior." Mo Qingyun nodded without arrogance. The conferring ceremony is complete. After Mo Qingyun was put on the crown, an old man shouted, "Now, if there are any juniors who want to ask Prince Qingyun for advice, they can come to the conferring platform for a fight. The Battle of the Princes has begun. I wonder how strong Prince Qingyun is." Prince Qingyun's bloodline talent is powerful. His strength is naturally not a problem. Don't you know that Prince Qingyun defeated over 1,000 people with one move in the ancestral shrine? The challenge segment began. Some people who were not familiar with Mo Qingyun began to discuss Mo Qingyun's strength. While the crowd was discussing, some golden celestials of the great all-embracing heaven flew to the conferring platform. When these people arrived at the conferring platform, they did not swarm up and wait for Mo Qingyun to choose his opponent. "Prince Qingyun, these juniors all want to ask you for advice. Who do you plan to fight first?" Seeing some juniors come up, the red-haired old man smiled and asked Mo Qingyun about his plan. A total of 17 people. When he heard the red-haired old man's words, Mo Qingyun scanned the crowd and thought for a moment. "It's too troublesome to fight one by one. Let them come at me together. Let them come at me together." When they heard Mo Qingyun's words, the people who had been to the ancestral shrine before immediately widened their eyes. Mo Qingyun's style of doing things was still as domineering as ever. Prince Qingyun is really formidable. His way of doing things is indeed incomparable to ordinary people. Prince Qingyun is only at the sturdy soul stage, while Feng Fengzhuang and the others are at the soul formation stage. Can Prince Qingyun win? This is really hard to say. Although there are fewer people this time, Feng Fengzhuang and the others are stronger. Whether he can win or not, we just have to wait and see. I believe this battle will be very exciting. When they saw Mo Qingyun's plan, everyone was excited and their eyes were filled with strong anticipation. "Master, junior brother," when she saw Mo Qingyun's actions, Man Yan's beautiful eyes immediately widened. She was quite shocked by Mo Qingyun's actions. Originally, they were still worried that Mo Qingyun would be challenged by people of the same level as him, and how he would deal with it. Now, Mo Qingyun had directly challenged a group of people. This was really too crazy. Your little junior brother always does things beyond our expectations. Let's just watch silently. After a simple interaction with Mo Qingyun, the Burning Sword Divine Craftsman had some understanding of Mo Qingyun's character. Therefore, when he saw the scene before him, he was not surprised. When they heard the Burning Sword Divine Craftsman's words, Man Yan and the others nodded in agreement. At this moment, on the award ceremony platform, the red-haired old man was slightly stunned. He turned to look at Mo Qingyun and asked, "Prince Qingyun, each of them is 3 levels higher than you. Are you sure you want to fight with them?" "Of course." Mo Qingyun replied firmly to the red-haired old man's question. He looked around and said, "If there's anyone else who wants to challenge them, you can come up and fight with them. It'll save you the trouble of challenging them again and again." "Prince Qingyun, although you are talented, you are too arrogant." "That's right. To prevent you from suffering because of your arrogance in the future, we will teach you a lesson today. Prince Qingyun, we are doing this for your own good. I hope you won't hold a grudge against us." Mo Qingyun's words immediately caused a large group of people to be dissatisfied. They all came to the awards ceremony platform. In a short while, the number of challengers reached more than 100. All of them displayed a shocking fighting spirit. The red-haired old man's expression turned serious. He turned to look at Mo Qingyun and said, "Little guy, are you sure you want to fight with them now?" In the red-haired old man's opinion, Mo Qingyun was definitely no match for them. If Mo Qingyun insisted on fighting, he might end up seriously injured. Of course, faced with the red-haired old man's question, Mo Qingyun was still determined. He had not changed his mind. Seeing Mo Qingyun's attitude, the red-haired old man was stunned at first. Then, he showed an expectant expression and said, "All right, since you insist, I will wait and see. I hope you won't disappoint me." After confirming Mo Qingyun's attitude, the red-haired old man gestured to everyone to let Mo Qingyun and the others start the battle. Soon, more than 100 challengers surrounded Mo Qingyun. Looking at the people in front of him, Mo Qingyun's lips curled into a faint smile. His gaze swept across the crowd. Lose! When Mo Qingyun's gaze swept across the crowd, his face darkened and he roared at the crowd. Under Mo Qingyun's roar, a terrifying soul power turned into small flames and flew out. These soul flames flew out and instantly blasted into the crowd's sea of consciousness, attacking their souls. Puff, puff, puff. Under the attack of their sea of consciousness, the crowd instantly spat out blood. Their souls were seriously injured. However, because Mo Qingyun showed mercy, they did not suffer any serious injuries. We lost. We accept our loss wholeheartedly. Under Mo Qingyun's gaze, the crowd's souls were injured. They immediately admitted defeat to Mo Qingyun. They knew clearly that with Mo Qingyun's powerful soul power, it was not something they could contend with. The difference in strength between the two sides was too great. There was no point in continuing the battle. Seeing the scene in front of them, everyone was stunned. They felt that they could not react. Chapter 1754. Is the battle over? A shocking voice broke the silence of the square. Hearing this shocking voice, the people who were originally in a daze came back to their senses one after another. After everyone recovered from their shock, they began to talk about Mo Qingyun's battle. How is this possible? Prince Qingyun is only at the firefly stage. How can he be so strong? It's too terrifying. Even when facing people who are a few stages higher than him, he can still crush them. If that's the case, I'm afraid the Prince of Azure Cloud won't be able to find a match in the same realm. In my opinion, Prince Qingyun's true combat strength is comparable to a pregnant past-stage expert. Everyone was shocked as they guessed Mo Qingyun's true strength. Little junior brother is too strong. Seeing Mo Qingyun's amazing performance, Man Yan's pretty face was also full of shock. She said, "Even with my path cultivation stage, I can't defeat more than 100 people so easily. This little guy's strength is really unfathomable." Divine craftsman Funjian couldn't help but sigh as a gratified smile appeared on his face. He was very satisfied with Mo Qingyun's performance. Although he was surprised by Mo Qingyun's strength, he wouldn't reject Mo Qingyun's performance. No matter what, Mo Qingyun was his disciple. The stronger Mo Qingyun was, the more respect he would have. Under everyone's shocked gaze, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and turned to look at the red-haired old man. He said, "Senior, did I pass this round of challenge?" You passed." Under Mo Qingyun's question, the red-haired old man's expression froze for a moment before he quickly answered Mo Qingyun. After replying to Mo Qingyun, the red-haired old man looked around and asked, "Are there any other juniors who want to challenge Prince Qingyun? If not, the Prince of Azure Cloud's sparring match is over. Let me experience it." Just as the red-haired old man finished speaking, a youth holding a black sword appeared on the high platform. This young man was also at the quasi-Tai-Xian immortal realm, but his aura was extremely sharp. He stood there like an unsheathed sword, giving people a feeling that he was invincible and could cut through anything. That's Prince Renling. I didn't expect him to come out and issue a challenge. Renling is ranked 5th among the 9 little heavenly kings. His strength is far from what ordinary juniors can compare to. Prince Renling once killed a great demon of the pregnant path realm by himself. His strength is terrifying. That was 5 years ago. I'm afraid that Prince Renling's strength is even stronger now. I wonder who will have the last laugh between Prince Renling and Prince Qingyun. Seeing Renling come up to the stage to challenge, everyone revealed a look of awe and veneration and began to talk about his glorious deeds. Under normal circumstances, the other princes would rarely make a move in a battle between princes. However, not only did a prince make a move, but it was also Rinling, one of the 9 little heavenly kings. This was really shocking. While the crowd was still in shock, their eyes were also filled with intense anticipation. They wanted to see who was stronger between Mo Qingyun and Rinling. Prince Qingyun, what do you think? Seeing Rinling asking Mo Qingyun for advice, the red-haired old man looked at Mo Qingyun and asked for Mo Qingyun's opinion. In the red-haired old man's opinion, Rinling's identity was different. He was very powerful, and Mo Qingyun had the right to reject the challenge. Under the red-haired old man's gaze, Mo Qingyun nodded and said, "Since he wants to fight, I'll play with him." Mo Qingyun glanced at Rinling, and then he swept his gaze towards the crowd below and said, "I'll say this one last time. If all of you want to challenge me, then come at me together. If you want to challenge me one by one, then I won't have the time to accompany all of you. Boy, don't be arrogant. Don't look down on others." Seeing Mo Qingyun's action, Rinling's face immediately darkened, and he reprimanded Mo Qingyun. In his opinion, Mo Qingyun's action was a humiliation to him. Mo Qingyun was indirectly saying that he, Rinling, was not qualified to fight with him alone. Mo Qingyun ignored Rinling's anger. He glanced at everyone indifferently and said, "Before I enter the main clan, I heard that the 9 little heavenly kings are the strongest among the juniors of the golden celestial stage of the great all-embracing heaven stage. All 9 of you, come at me together." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, there was an uproar in the hall. Everyone was shocked. Prince Qingyun is too arrogant. He wants to challenge the 9 little heavenly kings at the same time. Each of the 9 little heavenly kings can fight above their level. Prince Qingyun challenging all 9 of them at the same time is too arrogant. That's right. It is said that Prince Tongjiang, who is ranked first, has even killed a Tao-nourishing expert. His strength is unfathomable. Geniuses are all the same. With a little talent and strength, they will become arrogant. Who cares if Prince Qingyun is arrogant or not? Anyway, there will be a good show to watch. Everyone expressed different opinions about Mo Qingyun's action. While everyone expressed different opinions, Mannion turned to look at the burning sword divine craftsman and asked, "Master, the real combat strength of the 9 little heavenly kings is not much weaker than mine. Isn't it too risky for junior brother to challenge all 9 of them at the same time?" After hearing Mannion's words, the other senior brothers also had the same thought. Too risky? Hearing Mannion's words, the burning sword divine craftsman smiled faintly and shook his head. "Mannion, think about it. Of the few battles that Qingyun has fought in the clan, which one is not too risky?" Hearing this, Mannion and the others were immediately speechless. They didn't know how to refute. The burning sword divine craftsman was right. Ever since Mo Qingyun entered the main clan, the 2 battles that he had fought were beyond common sense. If they hadn't seen it with their own eyes, they wouldn't have dared to believe that it was true. Although Mo Qingyun had challenged the 9 little heavenly kings of Tongjiang, other than Rinling, the others didn't come up to the high platform. In their opinion, no matter how strong Mo Qingyun was, he wasn't qualified to challenge all 9 of them at the same time. Besides, if Mo Qingyun wanted to challenge the 9 of them, would they have to accept? If that was the case, they would lose too much face. After waiting for a long time, seeing that no one was willing to come up, Mo Qingyun didn't want to wait any longer. Turns out that the so-called 9 little heavenly kings are nothing more than this. After saying this disappointed sentence, Mo Qingyun looked at Rinling and said with a smile, "Since they don't dare to come up, then I'll play with you." "Kid, you're too arrogant." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Rinling immediately exploded, his expression twitching constantly. A warrior would rather be killed than humiliated. Mo Qingyun's action was too much. Chapter 1755. Cloud Shattering. As Rinling's sword slashed down, his body glowed with golden light, and his entire person turned into a stream of light. A sharp aura erupted from Runling's body, as if there were thousands of sharp sword chi. Bang, bang, bang. Under the impact of Renling's aura, the ground around Mo Qingyun immediately exploded. What was shocking was that Mo Qingyun was completely fine under Renling's aura. Not only that, under Mo Qingyun's aura, he didn't even resist. In this way, Mo Qingyun's strength was immediately revealed. Looking at Renling's sword getting closer and closer, Mo Qingyun raised his right hand unhurriedly and faced Renling's sword. Seeing Mo Qingyun's action, everyone's eyes widened. They were stunned by Mo Qingyun's action. Was he going to receive Renling's sword with his bare hands? Renling's sword attack was very fast. In the blink of an eye, the sword light had arrived in front of Mo Qingyun. But even so, Mo Qingyun's right hand still didn't stop and faced the sword light. Seeing such a scene, some people closed their eyes, not wanting to see Mo Qingyun's broken arm. However, when the sword light hit Mo Qingyun's finger, a strange scene appeared. They saw that Mo Qingyun's finger was not injured at all under the impact of the sword light. On the contrary, the seemingly threatening sword light was blocked by Mo Qingyun's finger. How is this possible? Renling's terrifying sword was actually blocked by his bare hands. Just now, Renling's sword strike had already threatened an expert of the Pregnant Path realm. How strong is the Prince of Azure Cloud? Compared to the Azure Cloud Prince, I feel like my 10,000 years of cultivation have been wasted on a dog. I'm even more miserable. My 30,000 years of cultivation have all been wasted on a pig. Depressed words came out from some people's mouths. You're courting death. Seeing that his sword light was blocked, Renling's face darkened, and the anger in his heart became even more intense. In his opinion, Mo Qingyun receiving his sword strike was a form of mockery and humiliation to him. Under Renling's anger, the sword in his hand became even more powerful as he continued to stab towards Mo Qingyun. Very soon, Renling's sword was only 1 meter away from Mo Qingyun. At this time, Mo Qingyun's right hand clamped forward as if he wanted to clamp Renling's sword. Ding! A clear voice rang out. The sharp longsword in Renling's hand was firmly clamped by Mo Qingyun's 2 fingers, unable to move forward at all. Seeing this scene, everyone's eyes widened. They couldn't believe that this was real. Renling's all-out attack was actually resolved by Mo Qingyun just like this. You are too weak. Mo Qingyun's finger flicked, directly flicking Renling's sword away, shaking his head in disappointment. Under Mo Qingyun's finger flicking, Renling was directly sent flying, falling heavily onto the ground. Looking at the Renling who fell to the ground, Mo Qingyun said indifferently, "If you call the other 8 people, you might be able to block 10 of my moves." 9 little heavenly kings, joining hands, could only take 10 moves from Mo Qingyun. This tone was also too big, right? Following Mo Qingyun's words falling, the surroundings immediately set off an uproar. Prince Qingyun is seriously too arrogant. He actually said that the 9 little heavenly kings can only take 10 moves from him. No, this isn't arrogance. He really has the strength. That's right. Arrogance is used to describe people without strength. Like Prince Qingyun, this is confidence. Witnessing Mo Qingyun's strength, the reverence in everyone's hearts toward him immediately became even stronger. Very soon, everyone's gazes looked over toward Teng Zhang's 8 people. They wanted to see if Teng Zhang's 8 people would immediately respond, facing Mo Qingyun's ridicule like this. Under everyone's gazes, the expressions of Teng Zhang and the rest immediately became ugly. In their view, Mo Qingyun's current action was clearly a kind of humiliation to them. If they still did not make a response, they would be shameless in the Heavenly Soul Fiend race's main clan in the future. Very soon, Teng Zhang and the rest could not sit still anymore and came to the conferring platform one after another. Seeing Teng Zhang and the rest come up, Mo Qingyun revealed a satisfied smile. His goal was achieved. As long as he defeated Teng Zhang's 9 people, he could make an example of them, less people carry out challenges in the future. Interesting. Looking at Tung Jiang's 9 people on the conferring platform, the red-haired old man revealed a faint smile, his eyes flashing with a look of anticipation. He really wanted to see how Mo Qingyun would perform when facing the 9 junior heavenly kings. If even Tung Jiang's 9 people were defeated, Mo Qingyun's weight in his heart would have to be re-evaluated. If this little fellow can defeat Tung Jiang's 9 people, I have to inform the seniors above the 4th heavenly layer. Looking at Mo Qingyun before him, the red-haired old man thought silently in his heart and immediately had a new plan. After knowing that Mo Qingyun's bloodline was powerful, he had already reported Mo Qingyun's existence to the seniors cultivating in the 3rd heavenly layer. Now, it seemed like he had to change his plan. Due to the lack of spiritual energy in the wasteland continent, generally, those who had reached the 9 heavens Xian immortal realm would head to the 33rd heavenly layer to cultivate. Only an extremely small number of 9 heavens Xian immortal realm experts stayed in the clan to manage some affairs. For example, the red-haired old man with the highest cultivation in the clan was only at the 3rd heavenly layer of the 9 heavens Xian immortal realm. Another example was the Burning Sword Divine Craftsman who had taken Mo Qingyun as his disciple. He was only at the peak of the 2nd heavenly layer of the 9 heavens Xian immortal realm. It was because of this discovery that Mo Qingyun dared to be so unrestrained in the main clan of the Heavenly Soul Demon clan. With the strength of the red-haired old man and the others, even if they wanted to harm him, they couldn't do anything to him. "Kid, I was still thinking of killing you after a few days." Looking at Mo Qingyun before him, Tung Jiang's face darkened. He gritted his teeth and muttered to himself, "Since you are in a hurry to die, I can only fulfill your wish." While Tung Jiang was secretly filled with killing intent, Su Qian and the others also had the same mentality. In their opinion, if they didn't get rid of Mo Qingyun, they would be suppressed by Mo Qingyun in the future. This kid's talent is outstanding. We can't let him continue to grow. Otherwise, he'll be a great threat to our clan. Shang Tianxing, who was standing behind Tung Jiang, had a flash in his eyes. His body exuded a faint saint's aura. Shang Tianxing immediately withdrew his saint's aura as soon as it was exposed. The entire process was extremely secretive. "Let's attack together and kill this kid. Let him know the price of his arrogance." Tung Jiang and the others shouted angrily. They didn't waste time talking nonsense with Mo Qingyun and immediately attacked Mo Qingyun. Instantly, sword radiance, spear shadows, and saber radiance whizzed towards Mo Qingyun. Seeing this, the surrounding people immediately tensed up. They couldn't help but worry for Mo Qingyun. Chapter 1756. They're still too weak. Mo Qingyun shook his head in disappointment when he saw Tung Jiang and the rest attacking him. The strength of Tung Jiang and the rest were far from enough for him. Demonic fist, shattering Star River. As Mo Qingyun spoke, he threw a punch forward and released a terrifying demonic aura. When the demonic aura erupted, it immediately formed a huge demonic shadow that exuded an aura that could devour heaven and earth. Sensing Mo Qingyun's aura, the red-haired elder beside him was shocked. It was as if he did not recognize Mo Qingyun. Putting his own cultivation realm aside, the demonic aura that Mo Qingyun exuded was enough to make his heart palpitate. As expected of an ancient bloodline, the majesty of this bloodline is indeed powerful. The red-haired elder could not help but sigh. The way he looked at Mo Qingyun changed drastically. He valued Mo Qingyun even more. "It seems like I've underestimated him previously. This little guy has unlimited potential." Under everyone's gaze, a black fist the size of a small mountain flew out from Mo Qingyun's fist. The black fist was extremely fast. In the blink of an eye, it was above Tung Jiang and the rest. Bang, bang, bang. Tung Jiang and the rest attacks were instantly dispersed by the black fist. At this moment, Shang Tianxing, who was close to Mo Qingyun, suddenly had a sharp glint in his eyes. At this moment, the aura that Shang Tianxing exuded suddenly skyrocketed. Quasi-Tai, Xian Immortal Realm, Dao Enlightenment Stage, Pregnant Stage, Dao and Nurturing Stage. In just a short moment, the aura that Shang Tianxing exuded had reached the Dao Creation Stage. As Shang Tianxing's aura skyrocketed, a powerful sacred aura exuded from his body. Sacred aura. This kid is from the sacred aura tribe. Sensing Shang Tianxing's sacred aura, the red-haired elder was shocked. He immediately knew Shang Tianxing's identity and exclaimed, "Oh no!" With Shang Tianxing's Dao Creation Stage, Prince Qingyun is definitely no match for him. Knowing Shang Tianxing's true identity, the red-haired old man did not dare to hesitate and immediately sent a palm strike at Shang Tianxing. A terrifying flame, spiritual energy, formed a huge flaming palm print that dyed the sky red. The flaming palm formed and blasted towards Shang Tianxing, causing the surrounding space to tremble. Too slow, Shang Tianxing did not panic in the face of the red-haired old man's attack. He sneered, "With this brat's great talent, even if I have to sacrifice my life, as long as I can kill him, it will be a great contribution to my clan." As soon as Shang Tianxing finished speaking, his expression became slightly crazed. He continued to slash at Mo Qingyun while enduring the red-haired old man's palm shadows. Seeing Shang Tianxing's actions, Teng Jiang sneered and said, "I didn't expect Shang Tianxing to be a spy of the Sacred Might tribe. What a surprise!" Shang Tianxing must have been hiding in our clan to deal with us. He actually exposed his identity because of Mo Qingyun. It seems like we have to thank Mo Qingyun. He saved us from danger. Letting Mo Qingyun and Shang Tianxing kill each other feels pretty good. Su Qian and the others sneered when they saw Shang Tianxing attacking Mo Qingyun. They were all gloating over Shang Tianxing's misfortune. Not good. Qingyun is in danger. Sensing Shang Tianxing's cultivation, the Burning Sword Divine Craftsman's expression tensed up, and he immediately flew toward Mo Qingyun. Shang Tianxing's talent and strength were both very strong. Under his sudden sneak attack, Mo Qingyun might be in danger. He did not wish for Mo Qingyun to be safe. He only wished for Mo Qingyun's life. "Master, you must save Junior Brother." Seeing that the Burning Sword Divine Craftsman was going to save Mo Qingyun, Mannion clenched her fists and looked at Mo Qingyun nervously. Under Mo Qingyun's gaze, a pair of dragon horns appeared in Mo Qingyun's hand, emitting a dazzling silver light. Twin dragon wings. After Mo Qingyun took out the divine ability dragon horn, two lightning dragons flew out from it, emitting a violent power of thunder. The two lightning dragons flew out from the dragon horns and turned into a pair of lightning wings, wrapping Mo Qingyun inside. As soon as the lightning wings formed, Shang Tianxing's saber light approached and stood on the wings. Boom! When the blade tip landed on the wings, it immediately exploded with an earth-shattering sound, creating a terrifying spiritual energy storm. Seeing the spiritual energy storm, everyone tensed up and worried about Mo Qingyun's safety. Lightning Dragon Sky Slash. Just when everyone was worried about Mo Qingyun's safety, a pair of huge lightning wings flew out from the spiritual energy storm. The lightning wings were extremely fast, and before Shang Tianxing could react, he was already dismembered. His body was cut open by the lightning wings, and Shang Tianxing immediately widened his eyes and looked at Mo Qingyun in shock. He couldn't believe that a person in the Firefly stage could kill him with lightning speed. Seeing Mo Qingyun's performance, the red-haired old man who came to rescue him couldn't help but be stunned. This situation was too sudden for him, and he wasn't prepared at all. After a short moment of being stunned, the red-haired old man was ecstatic and said excitedly, good boy. You're just the #1 genius of our clan in thousands of years, but you're really not comparable to ordinary people." After saying those words, the red-haired old man's expression immediately tensed up, and he said in ecstasy, "After today's matter, I will definitely report your situation to the elders in the sixth heaven. This boy is really unfathomable. Unfathomable. Seeing Mo Qingyun's performance, the Burning Sword Divine Craftsman smiled with relief and couldn't help but sigh. As the Burning Sword Divine Craftsman sighed in his heart, Man Yan's beautiful eyes widened, and she cried with joy, Little junior brother, you're so powerful, so powerful." Hearing Man Yan's words, the senior and junior brothers beside her all had strange expressions. Why did these words sound strange? Not caring about the reactions of the people beside him, Mo Qingyun turned to look at Teng Jiang and the others and said coldly, "You guys still want to continue the battle?" Under Mo Qingyun's gaze, Su Qian and the others immediately lowered their heads and didn't dare to look at Mo Qingyun's eyes. I admit defeat. I admit defeat too. I admit defeat wholeheartedly." Soon, Su Qian and the others admitted defeat without the slightest bit of unwillingness. Even Shang Tianqing, who was in the Dao Cheng stage, was killed by Mo Qingyun in one move. How could they still fight with Mo Qingyun? If they continued to fight with Mo Qingyun, they would just be humiliating themselves. Seeing that Su Qian and the others admitted defeat, Mo Qingyun looked at Teng Jiang again and asked, "They have all admitted defeat. Given your current attitude, do you still want to continue the battle?" As Mo Qingyun's words fell, a cold aura erupted from his body. Under the shroud of Mo Qingyun's aura, Teng Jiang's expression trembled, and he said unwillingly, I also admit defeat." As Teng Jiang's words fell, he left the conferring platform, his heart filled with unwillingness and anger. Chapter 1757. The defeat of Teng Jiang and the others also meant that the Battle of the Princes had officially ended. Even an expert like Shang Tianqing had been killed by Mo Qingyun in an instant. Among the Daluo Golden Celestials, no one was a match for Mo Qingyun. Not to mention the Daluo Golden Celestials. Even those in the Tai Xian Celestial Realm would be hard for Mo Qingyun to find a match. With the end of the Battle of the Princes, Mo Qingyun's conferment of the princes had also come to an end. Since the conferment is over, I will take my leave first. Seeing that the conferment of the princes had been completed, Xiao Chun did not want to stay any longer and excused himself from the red-haired old man. Hearing Mo Qingyun's request, the red-haired old man did not ask him to stay and immediately nodded in agreement. After getting the red-haired old man's agreement, Mo Qingyun walked towards the Burning Sword Divine Craftsman and said, "Master, let's go back." "All right." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the Burning Sword Divine Craftsman did not stay any longer and immediately led everyone back. On the way back, Man Yin seemed especially excited and said with a sweet smile, "Little junior brother, you are so powerful. Why didn't you tell us earlier? You made us worry for nothing again. Next time, if there is such a battle again, I will definitely tell you in advance." In response to Man Yan's words, Mo Qingyun faintly smiled and gave a simple reply. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Man Yan immediately pouted and glared at Mo Qingyun fiercely. She said, "You have no sincerity at all. It would be strange if I believed you." Seeing Man Yan's reaction, Mo Qingyun looked helpless and could not help but shrug his shoulders. In his heart, he thought that if there was such a battle again, he would definitely tell Man Yan and the others. However, since Man Yan did not believe him, there was nothing he could do. At this moment, the Burning Sword Divine Craftsman's expression turned serious, and he reminded Mo Qingyun, "Qingyun, if I am not mistaken, your talent and identity have already been spread. You have to be extremely careful in the future." "Thank you for your concern, Master. Disciple understands." Mo Qingyun nodded with a solemn expression when he heard the Burning Sword Divine Craftsman stop. He naturally knew what the consequences would be once his talent and strength were exposed. Tung Xiao would not be the only one who would make a move on him. Even the Sacred Might clan would not be able to hold themselves back and would want to get rid of him. However, if he wanted to gain a foothold in the Heavenly Soul Demon clan, it was impossible for him not to reveal some of his strength. As long as he displayed great talent, he would be able to obtain a respectable position in the main clan of the Heavenly Soul Demons. At that time, Tung Xiao would have strong concerns when dealing with him and wouldn't dare to act brazenly. After that, Mo Qingyun and the rest chatted as they walked back to their residence. About a quarter of an hour later, everyone returned to their residence. Mo Qingyun returned to his residence. Without further ado, he entered the Fortune mainland. Previously, because of the prince coronation ceremony, he didn't have the time to cultivate the inheritance divine abilities he had obtained. Now that the prince coronation ceremony was over, it was time for him to properly cultivate the inheritance divine abilities. Upon arriving at the Fortune mainland, Mo Qingyun sat down cross-legged and immediately focused on comprehending the inheritance divine abilities. After a while, after a round of comprehension, Mo Qingyun had a clear understanding of the inheritance divine abilities in his mind. This time, he had obtained a total of 4 types of inheritance divine abilities. One was a fist art, one was a palm art, and 2 types of eye techniques. They were Holy Devil Star Shattering Fist, Heavenly Devil Star Splitting Palm, Heavenly Sun Star Piercing Eyes, and Emperor Seal Spiritual Eyes. The Holy Devil Star Shattering Fist is based on the Devil Fist Shattering Star River. It's the easiest for me to cultivate. After a detailed analysis of the 4 types of divine abilities, Mo Qingyun had a plan. Since I have the Devil Fist Shattering Star River as the foundation, I'll cultivate the Holy Devil Star Shattering Fist first. This way, I can quickly raise my battle strength. With this thought, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated and immediately started cultivating the Holy Devil Star Shattering Fist. Boom! Mo Qingyun clenched his fist, and immediately, a terrifying spiritual force gathered in his fist, exuding a terrifying devil might. Under the impact of this force, the Fortune mainland shook as if it couldn't withstand this kind of power. Mo Qingyun's expression tightened at this discovery, and he quickly stopped his cultivation. The Fortune mainland is still in the evolution stage, and is far from being as perfect as the desolate mainland. I'm afraid I can't cultivate the inheritance divine abilities here. I need to find a place to cultivate. Master is very familiar with the Heavenly Soul Demons. I can ask him where is suitable for me to cultivate the divine abilities. With this thought in mind, Mo Qingyun left the Fortune mainland and immediately headed to the Burning Sword Divine Blacksmith's residence. Before long, Mo Qingyun arrived at the Burning Sword Divine Blacksmith's residence and saw him sipping tea. Qingyun, why are you looking for Master? Is there something important? According to the Burning Sword Divine Blacksmith's understanding of Mo Qingyun, if Mo Qingyun hadn't come looking for him, Mo Qingyun wouldn't have left his residence. Hearing the Burning Sword Divine Blacksmith's question, Mo Qingyun didn't beat around the bush and directly said, Disciple came looking for Master because there is something I need Master's guidance on. Oh, the Burning Sword Divine Blacksmith was curious and poured a cup of tea for Mo Qingyun. He gestured for him to sit down and said, Sit down, and slowly tell Master what you want Master to help you with. Master, when Disciple awakened his bloodline, he obtained a few inherited divine abilities, and I want to find a suitable place to cultivate them. In response to the Burning Sword Divine Blacksmith's question, Mo Qingyun didn't hide anything and truthfully told the Burning Sword Divine Blacksmith. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the Burning Sword Divine Blacksmith's brows furrowed and his mind raced. After thinking for a while, the Burning Sword Divine Blacksmith came up with an answer in his heart, and he knew which place was suitable. Outside the desolate mainland, there is an even wider world, and we call it the 33 Layers Heavens. The Burning Sword Divine Craftsman pointed to the sky and briefly explained to Mo Qingyun. He then said to Mo Qingyun in a low voice, With your current strength, you do have the qualifications to enter the first layer of heaven to cultivate. However, the 33rd layer of heaven is fraught with danger. I'm not at ease letting you go. 33 layers heavens. Mo Qingyun's eyes lit up when he heard that, and he began to yearn for the 33 layers heavens. He hurriedly said, "Master, do you have a way for me to enter the 33 layers heavens?" "Of course, but the 33 layers heavens are extremely dangerous. Are you sure you want to cultivate there?" The burning sword divine blacksmith's expression tensed up when he heard Mo Qingyun's words, and he confirmed with Mo Qingyun again. Mo Qingyun nodded without hesitation. He said, "That's right. Master, please help disciple enter the 33 layers heavens to cultivate." Seeing Mo Qingyun's attitude, the burning sword divine blacksmith stopped trying to persuade him. He said, "In 3 days, the Kunlai immortal realm in the first layer will open. I'll think of a way to send you in then." "Thank you, Master." Mo Qingyun immediately rejoiced when he heard that, and he thanked the burning sword divine blacksmith. Chapter 1758. After talking with the burning sword divine craftsman, Mo Qingyun had a rough understanding of the Kunlai immortal realm. The Kunlai immortal realm was originally a part of the Wild Continent and had formed due to the collapse of the Wild Continent. The ancient road around the Wild Continent and the small subsidiary continents were all part of the Wild Continent. They were originally part of the Wild Continent, but after the Wild Continent collapsed, they became independent continents. The difference between these small continents was that they contained different levels of spiritual power and floated in different places. The continents with the highest concentration of spiritual power were all in the 33 levels of heaven and had become famous cultivation mystic realms. According to the burning sword divine craftsman, there were some powerful ancient races in these cultivation mystic realms. These ancient races had existed for too long and were not listed on the 10,000 ancient races roll. However, the strength of their bloodlines could not be ignored. None of them were weaker than the top 10 of the 10,000 ancient races roll. They are so powerful. Mo Qingyun's expression shook when he heard the burning sword divine craftsman's explanation. He was shocked by the bloodline talents of those races. It seemed like there were many things in this world that he did not know. Theoretically, the bloodline talents of these ancient races are stronger than the top 10 of the 10,000 ancient races roll. As if worried that Mo Qingyun was not shocked enough, the burning sword divine craftsman added another sentence. Mo Qingyun was shocked by the burning sword divine craftsman's words and felt that his mind was unable to process the information. While Mo Qingyun was shocked, the burning sword divine craftsman continued. For example, as the lowest level of the Kunlai immortal realm, the longevity race living there has a bloodline talent of recovery. No matter how serious their injuries are, they will recover with time, even if their soul is shattered. They are so powerful that they can even recover from a shattered soul. Mo Qingyun was shocked by the burning sword divine craftsman's words. He found it unbelievable. As a result, it became much more difficult to kill the members of the longevity clan. In comparison, the longevity race's ability was similar to Mo Qingyun's absolute beginning creation bloodline. It was just that Mo Qingyun's Genesis creation bloodline was more powerful. However, what truly shocked Mo Qingyun was the ranking of the longevity tribe. Even the longevity clan of the first celestial layer was so powerful. How powerful would the clans living in the 33rd celestial layer be? When the burning sword divine craftsman mentioned the longevity clan, his expression turned serious. He said, "By the way, there's one more thing you need to pay attention to when you enter the Kunlai deity realm." Mo Qingyun's face was solemn as he waited for divine craftsman burning sword's instructions. The burning sword divine craftsman said in a deep voice, "As the natives of the Kunlai deity realm, the longevity tribe has an extremely mysterious connection with the Kunlai deity realm. As a result, the Kunlai deity realm suppression of their strength is weaker than other tribes." Upon hearing this, Mo Qingyun's body trembled. He widened his eyes and said in shock, "Master, do you mean that when other clans enter the Kunlai immortal realm, if they're below the Tai Xian immortal realm, the longevity tribe will be below the 9 heavens Xian immortal realm?" "Yes, that's right." Hearing Mo Qingyun's analogy, The Burning Sword Divine Craftsman did not deny it. He nodded and said, "Of course, the reality is not that scary. The Nine Heavens, Xian Immortal Realm, is not used for the previous realms. The Longevity Tribe's clansmen who can stay are generally at the first tier of the Nine Heavens Xian Immortal Realm. Very few of them are at the second tier of the Nine Heavens Xian Immortal Realm." After hearing the Burning Sword Divine Craftsman's explanation, Mo Qingyun's expression turned for the better. However, his heart was still heavy. This wasn't good news for him. If he did not borrow the power of the outside world, it would not be easy for him to fight against an expert at the first or second tier of the Nine Heavens Xian Immortal Realm. If he encountered one expert at the first tier of the Nine Heavens Xian Immortal Realm, he could still fight against him. However, if he encountered two, he could only run for his life. If he encountered an expert at the second tier of the Nine Heavens Xian Immortal Realm, he might not even be able to escape. If he was not careful, he might be killed instantly. If that was the case, his situation would become even more dangerous once he entered the Kunlai Immortal Realm. When Mo Qingyun thought of this, his eyes lit up. He hurriedly asked the Burning Sword Divine Craftsman, "Master, the Kunlai Immortal Realm has restrictions on the strength of foreign races. Will there be such restrictions if it is some powerful divine weapons?" "It's good that you can think of this. I was just about to warn you about this." When he heard Mo Qingyun's question, the Burning Sword Divine Craftsman nodded in praise. He said, "In the Kunlai Immortal Realm, there is no restriction on the strength of weapons. Therefore, some geniuses might have powerful quasi-saint weapons and saint weapons. You must be careful when dealing with them." The Burning Sword Divine Craftsman warned Mo Qingyun. He did not think too much about it. He guessed that Mo Qingyun would have powerful divine weapons. In his opinion, powerful quasi-saint weapons and saint weapons were extremely rare. Mo Qingyun might not have them. With his strength at the second level of the Nine Heavens Mystic Immortal Realm, he did not have a single saint weapon. He only had 3 quasi-saint weapons. Since the Burning Sword Divine Craftsman did not ask any more questions, Mo Qingyun naturally would not say anything more. He was very clear about the principle of being guilty of possessing a treasure. Although he believed that the Burning Sword Divine Craftsman would not be greedy, it was better for him to be careful. There was no such thing as an impenetrable wall in the world. If the news was accidentally leaked, it would be very troublesome. Therefore, it was best to keep a low profile if he could. Next, Mo Qingyun chatted with the Burning Sword Divine Craftsman for a while more. Then, he left the Burning Sword Divine Craftsman's residence. After leaving the Burning Sword Divine Craftsman's residence, Mo Qingyun returned to his residence and began to cultivate again. The time spent cultivating could be said to have passed in a flash. In the blink of an eye, 3 days had passed. The day of the Kunlai Immortal Realm's opening has arrived. I should go find Master. Mo Qingyun calculated the time. He immediately went to find the Burning Sword Divine Craftsman and asked him to send him into the Kunlai Immortal Realm. After a while, Mo Qingyun arrived at the residence of the Burning Sword Divine Craftsman. "Qingyun, you're here." Seeing Mo Qingyun arrive, the Burning Sword Divine Craftsman smiled faintly and greeted Mo Qingyun. When the Burning Sword Divine Craftsman greeted Mo Qingyun, Man Yin smiled brightly and said, "Little junior brother, I didn't expect you to go to the Kunlai Immortal Realm too. I'll leave my safety to you." Hearing Man Yan's words, Mo Qingyun was surprised and asked, "Senior sister, going to the Kunlai Immortal Realm?" In Mo Qingyun's opinion, Man Yin was only in the Dao Nourishing Realm. It was still very dangerous for her to enter the Kunlai Immortal Realm. "What's wrong? You can go, but I can't?" Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Man Yin pouted and looked a little unhappy. Chapter 1759. At least you know how to talk. Man Yin glared at Mo Qingyun, then revealed a bright smile and said, "Little junior brother, I found a few rare materials and spiritual mines in the Kunlai deity realm. Can you come with me when the time comes?" "Okay." Mo Qingyun agreed to Man Yan's request without hesitation. He had a good impression of Man Yan's world. Since Man Yan had asked for it, there was no reason for him not to help. It's getting late. Let's gather at the teleportation platform. Seeing Mo Qingyun and Man Yan talking, the Burning Sword Divine Craftsman said to the two of them and led the way. Mo Qingyun and Man Yan hurriedly followed the Burning Sword Divine Craftsman to the teleportation platform. Soon, Mo Qingyun arrived at the teleportation platform with the Burning Sword Divine Craftsman leading the way. Standing in front of the teleportation platform, Mo Qingyun was stunned. He could not believe what he was seeing. The teleportation platform in front of him flashed with colorful lights. Those were teleportation formations. Based on Mo Qingyun's rough estimation, there were at least a few hundred teleportation formations in front of them. So many teleportation formations. Mo Qingyun was shocked when he saw the teleportation array in front of him. He was very surprised by this scene. He had thought that the teleportation platform mentioned by the Burning Sword Divine Craftsman was only going to the Kunlai Immortal Realm. Unexpectedly, there were hundreds of teleportation formations on the teleportation platform in front of him. If he had not seen it with his own eyes, he would not have believed it. Seeing Mo Qingyun's reaction, the Burning Sword Divine Craftsman immediately guessed what he was thinking. He smiled faintly. It's hard to manage too many teleportation formations, so I put them together. It's more convenient to use them this way. After hearing the Burning Sword Divine Craftsman's explanation, Mo Qingyun did not think too much about it. He understood the purpose of this. Soon, Mo Qingyun arrived in front of a green teleportation formation under the lead of the Burning Sword Divine Craftsman. There were many juniors of the Heavenly Soul Demon clan standing in front of this green teleportation formation. It seemed like they were all going to the Kunlai deity realm to train. What made Mo Qingyun surprised was that Teng Jiang was actually among this group of people, cutting the queue with an arrogant expression. Everyone was very displeased with Teng Jiang's actions, but they did not dare to directly show it. Sensing Mo Qingyun's gaze, Teng Jiang turned his head to look at Mo Qingyun. His expression immediately turned cold as he said, "Brat, you actually want to go to the Kunlai Wonderland too? I think you're tired of living. If you can go, why can't I?" Faced with Teng Jiang's questioning, Mo Qingyun had an indifferent expression as he calmly replied with a question. "Don't forget, you can't even take a single move from me." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Teng Jiang's expression immediately turned ugly. In his opinion, Mo Qingyun's words were clearly meant to humiliate him. Forcefully suppressing the anger in his heart, Teng Jiang rolled his eyes and immediately came up with a scheme. He said, "Who said I'm going to the Kunlai Wonderland? I'm just here to take a look." As soon as Teng Jiang's words fell, he straightforwardly left the teleportation platform. Seeing Teng Jiang leave the teleportation platform, Mo Qingyun frowned slightly. He was somewhat surprised by Teng Jiang's actions. I thought Teng Jiang was very powerful. It turns out that he also knows to be afraid of Prince Qingyun. When he saw Prince Qingyun arrive, he immediately ran away with his tail between his legs. What a piece of trash. Prince Qingyun is still the best. The moment he arrived at the teleportation platform, he scared Teng Jiang away. All of you, lower your voices. Teng Jiang is afraid of Prince Qingyun, but he won't be afraid of you. Seeing Teng Jiang leave the teleportation platform, everyone immediately started talking about Teng Jiang at the side. Hearing the words of the people at the side, Man Yan blinked her beautiful eyes and smiled playfully at Mo Qingyun. She said, "Little junior brother, I couldn't tell that you're quite powerful to make Teng Jiang so afraid of you." "No, he didn't leave this place because he's afraid of me." Mo Qingyun shook his head. He did not agree with Man Yan's point of view. He felt that Teng Jiang did not leave because he was afraid of him. Mo Qingyun could feel that although Teng Jiang was a little apprehensive of him, it was absolutely not to the extent of being afraid of him. After all, standing behind Teng Jiang was the enormous Teng lineage. From the words of the divine craftsman Burning Sword, Mo Qingyun learned that there was a quasi-sage powerhouse in the Teng lineage. With such a powerhouse holding down the fort, Why would Tung Jiang be afraid of Mo Qingyun? Since he's not afraid of you, then why did he leave when he saw you come? Man Yin was puzzled. She felt that Tung Jiang's actions were very abnormal and did not understand what Tung Jiang was thinking. Compared to Man Yan's curiosity, Mo Qingyun's face was indifferent. He smiled and said, "Don't bother about him. I hope he doesn't look for trouble. Otherwise, I don't mind making him suffer a little." While Mo Qingyun and Man Yin were talking, it was their turn to enter the teleportation platform. The divine craftsman burning sword reminded them, "All right, it's your turn. Go in." "Yes." Hearing the instructions of the divine craftsman burning sword, Mo Qingyun and Man Yin responded and walked into the teleportation platform. When Mo Qingyun and Man Yin entered the teleportation platform, Tung Jiang arrived at Tung Hui's residence. "Jiang, aren't you going to the Kunlai immortal realm? Why are you here?" Seeing Tung Jiang's sudden appearance, Tung Hui was puzzled. He was very surprised by Tung Jiang's arrival. Under Tung Hui's question, Tung Jiang's face turned serious. He quickly walked to Tung Hui and said, "Father, I saw the divine craftsman burning sword and Mo Qingyun on the teleportation platform. It seems that Mo Qingyun should be entering the Kunlai immortal realm to train. I think this is a good opportunity for us to deal with him." The Kunlai immortal realm limits cultivation. With Mo Qingyun's powerful strength, it's useless no matter how many people we send. Hearing Tung Jiang's thoughts, Tung Hui frowned and sighed helplessly. Hearing Tung Hui's words, Tung Jiang shook his head and said with a cold smile, "Father, we can't make a move, but it doesn't mean that the other clans can't." Tung Hui was puzzled. He did not know what Tung Jiang meant. Seeing Tung Hui's expression, Tung Jiang smiled sinisterly and said, "Father, have you forgotten? The Sacred Might clan has a good relationship with the Longevity clan. If the news of Mo Qingyun going to the Kunlai immortal realm reaches the Sacred Might clan's ears, what do you think they will do? Mo Qingyun's talent is outstanding. The Sacred Might clan will definitely not let him grow. They will do everything they can to get rid of Mo Qingyun." Understanding Tung Jiang's meaning, Tung Hui nodded coldly. He felt that Tung Jiang's words made sense. However, thinking of colluding with the Sacred Might clan, Tung Hui hesitated again. He said with hesitation, "Although dealing with Mo Qingyun is important, colluding with the Sacred Might clan is a big taboo. We still need to consider this matter carefully. Father, with Mo Qingyun's talent, we can't let him live for even a moment." Seeing Tung Hui's hesitation, Tung Jiang immediately tried to persuade him. He said nervously, "Mo Qingyun is still young. It won't be difficult to deal with him. Once he's fully grown, it will be difficult to deal with him. Moreover, as long as we don't admit it, no one will know that we leaked the news." Hearing Tung Jiang's words, Tung Hui's eyes lit up. He looked at Tung Jiang with admiration and said with a smile, "Jiang, it seems that you've really grown up. Your trick of killing with a borrowed knife is indeed very clever." After Tung Hui finished speaking, he did not delay any longer and ordered people to leak Mo Qingyun's whereabouts. Chapter 1760. Swoosh, a light flashed past. Mo Qingyun and Man Yin had arrived at the Kunlai Wonderland together. The Kunlai Wonderland was indeed a sacred cultivation ground with a long history. The spiritual energy within was extremely rich. It's just a secret realm of the first heaven, and the spiritual energy is already so rich. How terrifying would the 33 heavens be? Standing in the Kunlai Wonderland, Mo Qingyun's heart trembled. He felt a sense of longing and yearning. When his cultivation was strong enough, he would definitely enter the secret realm of the 33 heavens to explore. While Mo Qingyun was pondering, some heavenly soul demons walked over and greeted Mo Qingyun. "Prince Qingyun, I know of an ancient almighty's secret palace. I wonder if you would be interested in going together." "Prince Qingyun, I found a surge of Saint Qi in a valley. There might be a divine artifact." "Prince Qingyun, I also found a secret treasure. It seems to have been left behind by an almighty from the outer realm. All of a sudden, words of invitation came from the mouths of the crowd. Although Mo Qingyun was only a golden celestial of the great all-embracing heaven, which was one realm lower than them, Mo Qingyun's strength was not weaker than theirs. In their opinion, if they could explore together with Mo Qingyun, their chances of success will be much higher. After all, Mo Qingyun's methods were too strange. It might be of unexpected help. While the crowd surrounded Mo Qingyun, some of the other tribes that passed by were curious about Mo Qingyun. That person looked at Mo Qingyun with some curiosity, some contempt, and some indifference. Seeing the situation in front of him, Mo Qingyun was really helpless. He quickly waved his hand at the crowd and said, "Everyone, I'm really sorry. I've already promised your sister to search for various refining equipment with her." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the crowd immediately looked disappointed. They all bade farewell to Mo Qingyun. "Senior sister, let's go." Seeing that everyone had walked far away, Mo Qingyun called out to Man Yin, indicating for Man Yin to lead the way. "Little junior brother, thank you." Seeing Mo Qingyun reject other people's invitation and go with her to look for the spirit mine, Man Yin revealed a touched expression. She had only said it casually. She didn't expect Mo Qingyun to really fulfill his promise. After thanking Mo Qingyun, Man Yin smiled sweetly. She pulled on Mo Qingyun's arm and said, "Not far from here is a dragon lightning mountain. There's a type of dragon fong lightning stone inside. Last time, due to a group of dragon fong lightning wolves obstructing me, I was unable to go and collect it. This time, with you accompanying me, I will definitely be able to collect the dragon fong lightning stone." After Man Yin finished speaking, she happily dragged Mo Qingyun along and moved forward together. Under Man Yan's tug, Mo Qingyun did not resist and followed her to Dragon Thunder Mountain. Man Yin was obviously very familiar with the location of Dragon Thunder Mountain. She was very familiar with the way. Not long after, a mountain with flashes of lightning appeared in Mo Qingyun's line of sight. On top of it, a faint shadow of a dragon flashed. This was the Dragon Thunder Mountain that Man Yin had mentioned. Mo Qingyun and Man Yin arrived in front of Dragon Thunder Mountain. The two of them did not stop and directly walked into Dragon Thunder Mountain. "Little junior brother, there are many silver lightning snakes in the periphery of Dragon Thunder Mountain. You have to be careful of their sneak attacks." Walking into Dragon Thunder Mountain, Man Yan's face revealed a serious expression. She reminded Mo Qingyun and said, "The silver lightning snake's teeth are very sharp. They can even bite through ordinary immortal artifacts. Moreover, their bodies contain the power of lightning. If you're bitten by them, your body will enter a state of paralysis." After listening to Man Yan's explanation, Mo Qingyun's expression was startled. He was somewhat curious about the silver lightning snakes. It seemed that these silver lightning snakes were indeed very terrifying. He really needed to be careful. Of course, Mo Qingyun was careful to guard against the silver lightning snakes because he was worried that they would sneak attack Man Yin. His current physical strength was already comparable to a quasi-sacred artifact. It was not something that the silver lightning snakes could bite. Next, Mo Qingyun and Man Yin went deeper into Dragon Thunder Mountain. Hiss! Suddenly, a silver light rushed towards Man Yin. Seeing this silver light, Mo Qingyun immediately guessed what it was. This was the silver lightning snake that Man Yin had mentioned. The silver lightning snake's speed was extremely fast. It was like lightning and arrived in a flash. "Be careful!" Mo Qingyun's body moved and blocked Man Yin behind him. He raised his right hand and grabbed at the silver lightning snake. Seeing Mo Qingyun's action, Man Yan's expression immediately panicked. She quickly reminded Mo Qingyun, "Little junior brother, the silver lightning snake's body is very hard. Don't deal with it with your bare hands." Although Man Yin immediately opened her mouth to remind him, her words were still a step too late. Just as her words fell, the silver lightning snake had already flown into Mo Qingyun's palm. Chi chi chi. When the silver lightning snake flew into Mo Qingyun's palm, it continuously twisted its body and crazily bit at Mo Qingyun's palm. Unfortunately, Mo Qingyun's body was too hard. It was simply unable to bite through. Destroy. Grabbing the silver lightning snake in his hand, Mo Qingyun's palm exploded with spiritual energy and directly crushed the silver lightning snake. The silver lightning snake's body was crushed and turned into a ball of lightning energy, dissipating in Mo Qingyun's hand. Little junior brother actually crushed the silver lightning snake. Seeing Mo Qingyun's action, Man Yan's beautiful eyes widened. She could not believe that this was true. She found it hard to believe that a person's physical strength could reach such a terrifying level. After Mo Qingyun crushed the silver lightning snake, he turned his head to look at Man Yan and said with a faint smile, "Senior sister, it's fine now. Let's continue on our way." "Oh, okay." Man Yan's expression shook. After recovering from her shock, she continued to move forward with Mo Qingyun. As they continued to move forward with Man Yan, they encountered many silver lightning snakes. However, they were all killed by Mo Qingyun. These silver lightning snakes are not weak. Their attack speed is extremely fast, and their teeth are sharp. They are indeed very difficult to deal with. After killing another silver lightning snake, Mo Qingyun's face revealed a solemn expression. He said with regret, "Fortunately, there aren't many silver lightning snakes. It's rare for two of them to launch a sneak attack together. If there were a group of them, it would be difficult to deal with them." Upon hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Man Yan immediately glared at him and said, "This is also because your physical body is strong. That's why you feel that the silver lightning snakes are easy to deal with. When others encounter one silver lightning snake, it's already a headache. You still want them to appear in groups." Hearing Man Yan's words, Mo Qingyun's face instantly revealed a mocking smile. He did not know how to reply. Thinking about it, the silver lightning snakes were very fast, and their attacks were very terrifying. If he was besieged by a group of them, even a powerhouse in the Dao Chang stage might die under their jaws. Mo Qingyun and Man Yan continued to move forward for a while. They passed through the forest of silver lightning snakes and arrived at the mountainside of Dragon Thunder Mountain. When Mo Qingyun and Man Yan arrived at the mountainside, they saw many silver figures flashing in front of them. In the middle of these white figures, some cultivators were surrounded and attacked. It seemed that they were at the end of their rope. Chapter 1761. Yeah, those people seemed to be. Mo Qingyun walked closer and took a closer look. He was surprised to find that these people were all from the immortal race. Mo Qingyun's eyes widened at this discovery. He turned to look at Man Yan and said, "Senior sister, could it be that the immortal race can also enter the secret realms of the 33 levels of heaven?" Of course. Facing Mo Qingyun's question, Man Yan nodded affirmatively and said, "There are also some powerhouses in the immortal race who have used heaven-defying methods to establish teleportation arrays to various secret realms." After hearing Man Yan's words, Mo Qingyun felt relieved in his heart. He didn't feel that it was strange. Although the immortal race came from subsidiary continents and did not have powerful bloodlines in their bodies, there was no lack of people with outstanding talent. If the immortal race did not have any powerhouses, how could they not be at a disadvantage when fighting against the god race? Let's go over there. Sweeping a glance at the battle ahead, Mo Qingyun gave Man Yan a look. He did not want to cause trouble for himself. He was now considered a member of the god race. Running over to save the immortal race was still not advisable. If his current actions were seen by someone with ulterior motives, it might cause unnecessary trouble. Hearing Mo Qingyun's instructions, Man Yan nodded and went around this place with Mo Qingyun. Man Yan naturally would not object to Mo Qingyun's decision. She went around the other party with Mo Qingyun. In her opinion, with these people delaying the Dragonfang lightning wolves, she could go and excavate the Dragonfang lightning stones. "Senior brother, there are two people from the god race over there. They seem to be planning to enter the Dragon Thunder Mountain." When Mo Qingyun and Man Yan were moving forward, the people fighting the Dragonfang lightning wolves discovered their existence. When those people discovered Emo, Qingyun, and Man Yin, the senior brother who was the leader immediately instructed everyone, "Let's lure these Dragonfang lightning wolves to the two of them and let them bear some of the burden for us." After telling his junior brother and junior sister, that senior brother ran towards Emo Qingyun and Li Wuyo, preparing to drag Emo Qingyun and Li Wuyo down with him. Emo Qingyun frowned as he looked at the crowd running towards him. His face turned cold and indifferent. He was very clear about the thoughts of these people. They simply wanted to pull them together to deal with the Dragonfang Thunderwolf. Soon, those people arrived in front of Emo Qingyun and Li Wuyo, drawing a portion of the disaster over. "All right, I'll use these dragon fangs and lightning wolves to temper my divine ability." Seeing the Dragonfang lightning wolves approaching, Emo Qingyun didn't want to continue dodging and prepared to directly kill these Dragonfang lightning wolves. Emo Qingyun made a decision in his heart. He did not waste any more time and immediately began to slaughter the Dragonfang thunderwolves. Roar! Just as Emo Qingyun was pondering in his heart, a Dragonfang thunderwolf leaped and pounced in front of him. Holy Demon Star Shattering Fist. Looking at the rapidly approaching Dragonfang thunderwolf, Emo Qingyun's expression turned serious, and he punched at the Dragonfang thunderwolf. As Emo Qingyun punched out, a terrifying wave of immortal spiritual force gathered on his fist. The shadow of the fist formed, emitting the rolling power of thunder, and crushed towards the Dragonfang thunderwolf. Emo Qingyun's fist was extremely fast, and before the Dragonfang thunderwolf could dodge, it hit the Dragonfang thunderwolf. Bang! The shadow of the fist hit the Dragonfang thunderwolf, and a terrifying force exploded from the shadow of the fist. Under the impact of this force, the Dragonfang thunderwolf's body immediately swelled, and in the blink of an eye, it exploded. Boom! The Dragonfang thunderwolf's body exploded, and it turned into a ball of silver light, slowly dissipating before Emo Qingyun's eyes. Seeing this scene, the surrounding people were all shocked, and the way they looked at Emo Qingyun changed greatly. The strength of these Dragonfang thunderwolves were all in the Tao comprehending stage, and they were not that easy to deal with. Emo Qingyun exploded one with a punch. It could be seen that Emo Qingyun's strength had reached a terrifying starting point. These Dragonfang thunderwolves are actually not made of flesh and blood. After exploding a Dragonfang thunderwolf with a punch, Emo Qingyun's face revealed a look of surprise, somewhat surprised by the structure of the Dragonfang thunderwolf. Under Emo Qingyun's observation, the bodies of these Dragonfang thunderwolves were actually pure thunder power. While Emo Qingyun was puzzled in his heart, Man Yan's beautiful face went pale, and she immediately explained to him, "Little junior brother, there's a dangerous place in Dragon Thunder Mountain. It's filled with the energy of lightning, and these Dragonfang lightning wolves came from there." So this is how the Dragonfang thunderwolves came about. Hearing Man Yan's words, Emo Qingyun revealed a surprised expression, feeling curious about the origins of the Dragonfang thunderwolves. Looking at it this way, that dangerous place shouldn't be simple. If there's a chance, we can go in and explore. During the process of conversing with Man Yan, Emo Qingyun's attacks did not stop, continuously killing the Dragonfang thunderwolves that surrounded him. In the process of Emo Qingyun killing the Dragonfang thunderwolves, his comprehension of the Holy Fiend Star Shattering Fist was also continuously rising. The attacking method of Fiend Fist Shattering Star River is to explode the enemy from the outside, while the Holy Fiend Star Shattering Fist is the exact opposite. Seeing the attacking method of the Holy Fiend Star Shattering Fist, Emo Qingyun compared it with Fiend Fist Shattering Star River and said, "The attacking method of the Holy Fiend Star Shattering Fist is even more skillful than Fiend Fist Shattering Star River, and the power of the attack is also more tyrannical." With the increase in comprehension of the Holy Fiend Star Shattering Fist, Emo Qingyun's attacks became even fiercer, and the speed of killing the Dragonfang thunderwolves became even faster. Before long, The besieging Dragon Fong Thunderwolves all died in Mo Qingyun's hands. When the Dragon Fong Thunderwolves were killed, a group of people wearing the same clothes as them quickly flew down from the mountain. Senior apprentice Brother Yang, you guys are here? Seeing those people arrive, this group of people revealed pleasant surprise on their faces and hurriedly went to welcome those people. Is everyone all right? Yang, who was in the lead, asked everyone in concern. His gaze looked towards Mo Qingyun and said in surprise, two people from the god race. When Yang looked at Mo Qingyun swept a glance over them and then ignored them. Mo Qingyun turned his head to look at Man Yin and said, Senior apprentice sister, let's go. Hearing Mo Qingyun's signal, Man Yin nodded in response and went deep into the Dragon Lightning Mountain with Mo Qingyun. Seeing that Mo Qingyun and Man Yin were about to leave, Yang Yi's face sank, and he said coldly, The two of you, my junior apprentice brother and sister, saved the two of you from the hands of the Dragon Fong Thunderwolves. Are you not even going to say a word of thanks? In Yang Yi's opinion, with Mo Qingyun and Man Yan's cultivation, they were definitely not a match for the Dragon Fong Thunderwolves. Hearing Yang Yi's words, Mo Qingyun's footsteps paused, and he looked at those people with a mocking expression and said, With just these people, they don't have the ability to save us. As Mo Qingyun's words fell, he turned around and continued to leave with Man Yan. Seeing Mo Qingyun's action, Yang Yi's body leaped, and he arrived in front of Mo Qingyun and Man Yan. He drew his sword and said, Kid, you're quite bold to actually dare to speak to me like this. Do you believe that I won't cut you down with my sword? I don't believe it. Chapter 1762. You're courting death. Yang Yi's face darkened when he saw Mo Qingyun's attitude. He brandished his sword and slashed at Mo Qingyun. Yang Yi's strength was not weak. He had reached the Dao Cheng stage, so the power of his sword was terrifying. A terrifying immortal spiritual force converged on Yang Yi's longsword, forming a huge flaming bird image. The image of the flaming bird took shape and flew towards Mo Qingyun. Flaming arrows shot out from its body. Senior brother Yang is so powerful. He actually mastered the ancestral immortal art, divine phoenix feathers. That kid wants to fight with senior brother Yang. He must be tired of living. The way I see it, that brat must be regretting now. He must be regretting that he offended senior brother Yang earlier. The people behind them were excited when they saw Yang attack Mo Qingyun. In their opinion, even if Mo Qingyun's strength was extraordinary, he was no match for Yang. Good. Mo Qingyun smiled faintly in the face of Yang Yi's punch. He was not afraid at all. As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he threw a punch forward without hesitation. Saint Demon Star Shattering Fist. Mo Qingyun punched out with his fist. Terrifying immortal spiritual power gathered on his fist, forming a huge black fist shadow. The mountain-sized black fist blasted toward the flaming arrows, scattering them in the blink of an eye. So strong. Yang Yi was horrified when he saw the power of Mo Qingyun's punch. He was afraid of Mo Qingyun. The feeling that Mo Qingyun gave him was too terrifying. It made him feel like he was invincible. Knowing Mo Qingyun's might, Yang Yi immediately put away his arrogance and hurriedly said to Mo Qingyun with an obsequious smile, Why, young master, if you have something to say, let's talk it out. Just now I offended you. Please show mercy. Mo Qingyun did not care about Yang Yi's begging and directly chose to ignore it. The black fist shadow's attack power did not diminish. It hit Yang Yi directly and blasted him in the ground. Bang! A loud noise was heard. When that sound rang out, a violent storm was stirred up on the ground where the fist shadow landed. Under the impact of the storm, Yang Yi's junior brothers and junior sisters were sent flying, falling to the ground and coughing up blood. Senior brother Yang Yi. Senior sister, will senior brother Yang Yi be all right? Even senior brother Yang Yi is not his match. What should we do now? After being bombarded by the storm, These people ignored their injuries and were all concerned about Yang Yi's situation. In their opinion, if Yang Yi was killed, they would have no chance to escape. Little junior brother's strength is probably comparable to an expert at the first level of the Nine Heavens' mysterious immortal realm. Looking at Mo Qingyun in front of her, Man Yin revealed a shocked expression. Once again, she had a new understanding of Mo Qingyun. Originally, she thought that Mo Qingyun had already displayed his full strength when the prince challenged him. She did not expect that she had still underestimated Mo Qingyun. Mo Qingyun had actually concealed his strength. A moment later, the storm that blocked everyone's line of sight dissipated, revealing Yang Yi's figure. Now, there was no aura on Yang Yi's body, not even the aura of his soul. Yang Yi was dead. Under Mo Qingyun's punch, he was directly killed mercilessly. Senior brother Yang Yi is dead. That kid killed senior brother Yang Yi with a punch. His strength is too terrifying. Isn't he only at the golden immortal realm? How can his strength be so terrifying? Seeing the scene in front of them, everyone was terrified and despair appeared on their faces. When everyone was in despair, they did not dare to hesitate and immediately begged Mo Qingyun for mercy. I said, since I can save you, I can also kill you. Mo Qingyun ignored the pleas of these people and attacked without hesitation. If it wasn't for his strength, the ones who would be killed now might be him and Man Yin. In a short while, these people in front of him were killed by Mo Qingyun's punch. Senior sister, let's go. After killing all the people blocking the way, Mo Qingyun gave Man Yin some instructions, then raised his foot and walked forward. Hearing Mo Qingyun's signal, Man Yin hurriedly followed up, and a look of lingering fear appeared on her face. She rejoiced and said, "Little junior brother, it's all thanks to you accompanying me this time. Otherwise, if I encountered those people by myself, I'm afraid my end would not be good." Man Yan's words were not false. With the conflict between the God clan and the Immortal clan, if she met them alone, she would only be killed. It was because of this that Mo Qingyun did not have the slightest psychological burden when he killed the other party. As Mo Qingyun and Man Yin continued to move forward, they encountered some dragon-tooth lightning wolves on the way. What surprised Mo Qingyun was that the strength of these dragon-tooth lightning wolves had actually reached the path nurturing stage. The closer we get to the top of Dragon Thunder Mountain, the stronger the dragon-tooth lightning wolves are. The next wave should be Dao Cheng's stage. Realizing that the dragon-tooth lightning wolves had become stronger, Mo Qingyun frowned slightly. He was even more curious about the danger zone of Dragon Thunder Mountain. What kind of place could give birth to creatures like the dragon-tooth lightning wolves? Not to mention other things, just from the strength of the dragon-tooth lightning wolves, this danger zone was not simple. Junior brother, the dragon-tooth lightning stone mine is under the ancient tree in front. While Mo Qingyun was pondering, Man Yan's face revealed a brilliant smile. She raised her hand and pointed at a huge ancient tree. That ancient tree was over 10,000 feet tall. Chapter 1763. Senior sister, be careful. Looking at the incoming flying spider, Mo Qingyun's figure moved and shielded Man Yin behind him. After shielding Man Yin behind him, Mo Qingyun's movements did not stop as he directly punched forward. Mo Qingyun's punch gathered a terrifying amount of immortal spiritual energy on his fist. In the blink of an eye, a small mountain-like black fist shadow bombarded the flying spider. Mo Qingyun's attack was too fast. The flying spider did not have time to dodge and was hit by the black fist shadow. Bang! After being hit by Mo Qingyun's punch, the flying spider was instantly sent flying and crashed into the ancient tree behind it. The flying spider crashed into the ancient tree and immediately caused the ancient tree to shake continuously, which attracted the attention of a large group of demonic beasts. An aura comparable to a first-layer, Nine Heavens arcane immortal burst out from the ancient tree. Not good, The other demonic beasts on the ancient tree have all been alerted. Sensing the fluctuations of the aura on the ancient tree, Mo Qingyun did not dare to hesitate and immediately retreated with Man Yin. Senior sister, let's go quickly. After Mo Qingyun's words fell, he did not wait for Man Yin to react as he hugged Man Yan's waist and retreated. Seeing Mo Qingyun's action, Man Yan's face immediately turned red and her expression became shy. Mo Qingyun's action was too sudden and she was not prepared at all. No matter what, she was still his senior sister. How could Mo Qingyun do this? However, although Man Yin was shy in her heart, she quickly calmed down. She knew that in the current situation, she could not have too many distracting thoughts. Hidden door. When Mo Qingyun retreated, he did not forget to use his martial soul divine ability to conceal himself and Man Yin. Although he was not afraid of those demonic beasts, it was still very troublesome to deal with so many demonic beasts at once. As Mo Qingyun and Man Yin concealed themselves, those demonic beasts lost their senses and lost track of Mo Qingyun and Man Yin. Roar, roar, roar. After losing track of Mo Qingyun and Li Wuyo, the demonic beasts roared angrily and returned to the top of the ancient tree. Seeing that the demonic beasts had fled, Mo Qingyun removed the concealment door, revealing his and Man Yan's figures. Little junior brother, let go of me. Following the escape of those demon beasts, Man Yin revealed a bashful expression and glared at Mo Qingyun. Hearing Man Yan's words, Mo Qingyun immediately realized that something was wrong. He hurriedly let go of Man Yin and said with an embarrassed smile, Senior sister, I was in a hurry just now, so although it was to save Man Yin just now, it was still somewhat immoral for him to take advantage of others like this. Fortunately, Man Yin was very reasonable. Without waiting for Mo Qingyun to finish speaking, she said, Little junior brother, you don't have to explain. She exclaimed, Little junior brother, if I didn't come here personally, I would find it hard to believe that you have such means. I was just lucky enough to obtain a fortuitous encounter. Mo Qingyun revealed a faint smile and explained simply to Man Yin, then said, Senior sister, you will stay here for now. The natives of this mainland are very weak. They won't be a threat to you. Because of Man Yan's special identity, Mo Qingyun did not plan to let her get acquainted with the people of the Heavenly Soul mainland. Therefore, Mo Qingyun brought Man Yin to another place. Okay. Hearing Mo Qingyun's instructions, Man Yin immediately nodded in agreement. She was also clear that the Dragon Lightning Mountain was full of dangers, and the Dragon Fangs and Lightning Wolves were getting stronger. If she continued to follow Mo Qingyun, she would become a burden to Mo Qingyun, which was equivalent to putting Mo Qingyun in danger. After settling Man Yin down, Mo Qingyun was not in a hurry to leave. He planned to check on the situation of Long Han Yin and the rest. Mo Qingyun's figure moved and arrived at the residence of Long Han Yin and the rest. He saw the anxious expressions of Yi Wuyo and the other girls. Senior sister Wuyo, what's wrong? Seeing Yi Wuyo and the rest, Mo Qingyun revealed a puzzled expression and hurriedly asked them. Hearing Mo Qingyun's voice, Yi Wuyo and the other girls were delighted, and the worry on their faces eased a little. Then, Yi Wuyo and the other girls hurriedly went up to Mo Qingyun. Qingyun, it's not good. Han Yin and Qingyu seem to be a little strange recently. Yi Wuyo came in front of Mo Qingyun and anxiously explained the situation of Long Han Yin and the other girl. Hearing Yi Wuyo's explanation, Mo Qingyun's face became heavy, revealing a worried expression. He said, Where are Han Yin and the rest now? For me to see them immediately. After Mo Qingyun's words fell, he did not delay any longer and immediately went to see Long Han Yin and the other girl. Not long later, Mo Qingyun saw Long Han Yin and the other girl and discovered that their auras were weak. Although his physical strength had increased, the difficulty of dealing with these 3 dragon-tooth lightning wolves was still not just a little bit high. Of course, although it was not easy, Qingyun did not give up. Quasi-9 Heavens, Xian Immortal Realm Dragonfang Thunderwolves are unable to allow me to temper my inherited divine ability. These 3 Dragonfang Thunderwolves should be able to. Qingyun's figure flashed and directly charged towards the 3 Dragonfang Thunderwolves, intending to test his strength in a battle with them. Demonic Saint Star Shattering Fist. Qingyun took a step forward and blasted out a fist. Immortal spiritual energy madly converged on his fist. In a short moment, a violent black immortal spiritual energy wrapped around Qingyun's fist. The black immortal spiritual energy rapidly converged and condensed into an enormous fist shadow that blasted towards the Dragonfang Thunderwolves. Facing Qingyun's fist, the 3 Dragonfang Thunderwolves did not shrink back and began to resist together. Chi. Lightning flashed on the 3 Dragonfang Thunderwolves, and 3 lightning wolf shadows flew out to meet the enormous black fist. While the 3 lightning wolf fangs were running, they were able to sense each other and formed a joint attack formation. Joint attack formation. Seeing the scene in front of him, Qingyun's expression was instantly shocked, and he found it hard to believe. He would never have thought that these 3 9 Heavens Xian Immortal Realm Dragonfang Thunderwolves would have mastered such a combat method. Bang! The enormous black fist blasted onto the lightning wolf shadows and immediately exploded with a loud bang, creating a terrifying spiritual energy wave. Facing the impact of this spiritual energy wave, Qingyun immediately retreated to avoid being affected by the spiritual energy wave. Qingyun's movement speed was extremely fast, and in the blink of an eye, he avoided the spiritual energy wave and retreated to a position 1,000 meters away. The combat strength of these 3 Dragonfang Thunderwolves is far stronger than I imagined. It won't be easy to deal with them. Seeing the performance of the 3 Dragonfang Thunderwolves, Qingyun immediately stopped underestimating them and silently pondered in his heart. They are formed from pure lightning energy, and their bodies are not as strong as mine. If I fight them in close combat, I should be able to easily kill them. After some analysis, Qingyun immediately found the weakness of the Dragonfang Thunderwolves and knew how to deal with them. Although he knew the weakness of the Dragonfang Thunderwolves, Qingyun was not in a hurry to kill them and planned to continue fighting with them. Their purpose in coming here, other than looking for treasures in the danger zone, they also wanted to train their divine abilities.